All right. Welcome to the first live episode of the Sketchy People podcast.
Partly live.
4 of us are on a bed talking into this one mic, while Asha is oceans away, but still here together with us in soul and in not presence.
It's only one ocean, by the way.
Shush. Oceans is a gender-neutral plural word.
What?
We can all be an ocean if we want to be.
Okay.
So, who's here?
I'm here. I'm LemonTart. I usually say alright, but then everybody joined me this time because we're all together. I do graphic design, I do sometimes art, and I launched a Twitter recently, Tardy Art. That's me, at Tardy Art. Germany's pretty cool, and my friends from Germany are also here.
Hello.
Introduce yourself, NeverPaint.
I'm NeverPaint. You know me if you watched the last few episodes, which you have already. I hope so. Also, I do traditional digital art, I do illustration, and I'm here to sit and talk with my friends about cool stuff. Yeah. Graf, you go.
Torri!
Benjamin Blümchen.
Hey guys, I'm Graf. I'm an animation student, also focusing on background art. I have a webcomic that I just started. You can read it.
That was not enough fanfare.
Okay.
Guys, he has a webcomic! It's
Dude,
totally rad!
Graf just decided to launch a fucking webcomic while on a trip to Germany.
On its own.
A productivity god. He's really great.
Link in the description.
Please go read his comic.
Okay, Alex.
I'm Alex. I do music and I do the jokes. And that's what I do.
You are pretty funny, Alex. Not this time, though.
Asha, you.
I'm Asha and I'm all alone.
Oh no.
Ah.
You are in our hearts, okay?
I'm glad.
So, so what are we talking to? What's the topic?
The topic for today is childhood media. We're gonna go through each one of us childhood timelines of since we were a wee lad. I learned that in Scotland last summer, and until we became big boys and girl. And we're gonna talk about our major influences, shows, comic books, cartoons, whatever that
Audio
we
plays.
really enjoyed. Audiobooks as well. German dubs of Digimon openings and the
Yeah.
like. So who wants to start this podcast show episode? Who wants to start?
Well,
Jesus, guys, come on.
we can cut out all awkward silences. I guess I can start with my... the first thing I remember, like, as an artistic medium that I experienced was Never Ending Story by Michael Ende. And it's really funny that the guy is called Ende and wrote the Never Ending Story.
Oh dude, is that a Minecraft reference?
No, it's also it's never ending, so I like it.
NeverPaint. I can't believe that your first piece of childhood media was Never Ending Story.
It was like 20 years before I chose that internet name.
That's really funny.
No, it was
on brand.
yeah. I was like maybe 4 years old, and my mom read it to me, and it was good. I was probably read like other children's book before, but I don't remember them. So that's the first one, and it's a really cool classical fantasy tale that talks about the magic of books and literature. Yeah, and it's great. There's a really famous American movie, and I have never watched it.
Really?
Yeah,
It's pretty decent. I mean, it's not as good as the book, and it doesn't cover most of the book, but it covers a decent chunk.
but the cool dragon is a weird dog in the movie.
Yeah. I read that book when I was around 11 or 12, and I really, really enjoyed it. I've read it several times since. My favorite part is probably near the end when he's in the mine with all the memory mirrors.
Dude,
that part's
I
really interesting.
don't even remember that.
What?
No, it's not right that I've reread it since then.
Oh, well.
I know some parts, but yeah, it's kind of ingrained into my psyche some way because I went to become like your local fantasy boy and read everything fantasy related. But that was the first thing I experienced, and that's cool. And also, have your parents like read your stuff like out of books?
Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about that.
Because
Yeah,
that was like most of my book experience up to like age 10, I think. because after my mom read me Never Ending Story, my dad went on and read me the Inkheart books by Cornelia Funke and all the Walter Mörs Sermonia series. And that was also cool because he made a lot of funny voices.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My dad did that with Harry Potter. He would always like, because he's really, my dad did performance theater. He was an actor and a singer. So he would just pick up like Harry Potter 1 and immediately go into the most ridiculous Scottish accent for Hagrid, and it was fantastic.
Dude, I did the same when I read Harry Potter to my little sister.
Oh,
like,
cute.
But I was inspired by the Rufus Beck German audiobooks from Harry Potter, and it basically imitated the old audiobook.
You were inspired by Lemon's dad.
Everybody's inspired by my dad.
Yeah, okay, that's enough from me for now. Next one.
Here I can go. Honestly, my parents never read me a lot of stuff. My family's Russian, so I
We
grew up.
can't read. I'm sorry, that was a joke, everyone. That I like Russia; they're pretty cool. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, so I know a couple of fairy tales and stuff, but I mainly remember my mom and my grandma singing a lot of lullabies.
Really?
Yeah, and like
I never had that.
we have a lot of singing at like festivals when like the family got together and stuff.
So that's why you're a musician now.
Maybe.
And I'm a
I don't know.
rock person.
Yeah, I also played a lot of video games.
Hell yeah!
There's
High five.
Yeah.
Whoa!
First on-air live high five.
There's
Sketchy on everybody.
an iconic picture of me being 2 years old, like crawling on the
In
table.
my skin.
Crawling on the table of my dad's computer and trying to hit buttons.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I've been playing video games ever. Like, honestly, I can't remember the time before video games.
No, seriously, one of my first memories is being like 3 years old and sitting next to my uncle, who was finishing high school at the time, and my uncle had an NES. And we would play the NES Ninja Turtles game together, and we would always die on like the second level because that game is complete bullshit and it's really difficult.
My first video game was a desktop version of Frogger, like a 3D Frogger world. It had like dozens and dozens of different worlds and levels and was pretty cool. I only could play that on my grandparents' computer because my parents didn't have video games.
Yeah, we only had a computer. So I didn't play on consoles till I was like 10 and I got a DS. I played a lot of like DOS games and like...
Really?
Yeah. There was like a bootleg Mario game and there was... Like,
I had also a bootleg Mario game on that computer.
and there were like those early racing games, like the first Need for Speed and stuff. And like Heroes of Might and Magic.
Oh, cool.
Did videos on that. And yeah, there was also a really cool platformer where you like they were math puzzles. I think it's called
sounds horrible.
Math Rescue or something. No, it's really cool because it had like a really nice trippy art style and it had like aliens and stuff.
What?
Yeah, it was really cool. I'll show you some pictures later.
Sure.
Cute.
Yeah.
My first video game memory is... Well, not video game memory. My first video game console that I owned was Game Boy Advance when I was 5 years old. And they got me a Game Boy Advance, and they got me Fire Red, the Pokemon Gen 1 remake. And then I proceeded to immediately go and buy, with my dad, the original Pokemon Red without knowing they were the same game. And I have forever been a fool since then.
I remember the first console I had was a Game Boy Color. I don't know how old it was, but we got it and there was this old Mickey Mouse Tetris game on it.
What?
You would just...
Sounds fantastic.
Kingdom Hearts?
No, it was not... No, not Kingdom Hearts. It was just a Tetris game with a Mickey Mouse theme and you just walked around the town with all the characters, the Disney characters, and then you played Tetris against them.
Ah,
Cool.
cute. Asha, what's your first childhood media experience?
Well, since we're talking about games, I actually liked playing games when I was a kid. Unlike now,
no.
where I just don't give a damn.
Oh man,
You found
you're spitting some hot fire there, Asha. Jeez.
I totally agree.
I used to play this like one game on the computer called Captain Claw, where it was about anthropomorphic cat. It was like a pirate, and he'd fight dogs,
no.
aristocratic dogs.
You
Was this before or after the Aristocats? Was this a company that was like, Aristocats, we can do you one better, Aristodot.
Nah,
he's
Lemon
dying.
Very-
yeah.
it's just a very angry cat fighting dogs. Are you still
God.
Sounds cool.
croc?
Lemon is dying right now. We might have to cut this part out.
I'm okay. I'm back.
He can't even mute himself.
I mute myself in real life. Yeah.
Just cut his throat.
It was one of these like old visual novel sort of not visual novel, but like point and click edutainment games, sort of like the Goldfish one. I don't remember his name, Freddy Fish or something like that. I played that when I was a kid. Was it like that?
I remember the Rainbow Fish.
Yeah, I do remember the Rainbow Fish, but I never read the book. I just had the video game. That was like surprisingly really.
That was also a really popular
The
TV
Rainbow
show.
Fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the Rainbow Fish?
It's a fish that's like a rainbow, and he gives away his colorful scales to different people who basically and he has to learn that he can't do that in the end, and
Why?
because it hurts him.
But
And-
that's Tsubasa Hanekawa's character arc.
No, we're not doing the waifu episode again. Graf hasn't said.
Oh yeah, me. Okay. Just been thinking about what I consumed as a child, and there's so many memories flooding in.
Yeah.
I feel like I consumed so much. I don't think my parents ever read me anything, because I feel like I started reading pretty early. So, and I listened to a lot of audiobooks. So I just remember a lot of Greek myths and just fairy tales.
Interesting.
And I guess at some point I read the Astrid Lindgren books.
I see you're also a man of culture.
Of course I am. And then I reread them like 2 years ago. So most of the memories of childhood media I have are from the last couple of years, because I've been like rereading and rewatching TV shows.
It's pretty rad. I should do that.
Yeah, it was a really cool experience, because I was like a couple of years ago I was considering actually becoming a children's book author. So I was like, I want to read all this stuff that I don't really remember from being a child, and then I read them and I just loved them. I love how simple stories can have so much depth.
Yeah.
Especially like Astrid Lindgren. She's a Swedish children's book author. She wrote Pippi Longstrump and Emil
Long stockings in English.
Yeah, sorry, Swedish names.
I know her as P.P. Lundström, don't worry.
PP.
That was the marketing in Spain.
Yeah, so I read those, and then
She also wrote Michel von Lönneberger.
yeah, exactly. Called Emil in the original.
Emil.
Yeah.
I thought Michel would also be a Swedish name.
No. They changed it because there was already another children's book by Erich Kästner called Emil and the Detectives.
Oh,
Didn't
okay.
want to,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I read that too. I read that like in grade school. It's a good book. It's like a detective story with children in Berlin, and
That does sound pretty fun.
it's about like this boy who travels with a train to Berlin to visit some relatives, and he has a lot of money with him, and it gets stolen on the train. So he gathers a gang of local teens and children around him that
Starts just throwing slime everywhere.
and they start to investigate in the city, and like it's really cool, and it tells a lot about like Berlin's culture.
Sounds really interesting.
It's pretty cool. I've read very little Kästner, actually. I don't even know that book.
Speaking of kid detectives, did you guys ever read Famous Five growing up?
Famous Five?
Yeah, they're from this, I think she's British, called Enid Blyton. And they're just these really classic English books about
Is it like
this group of kids.
Yeah.
and their dog, and they go around solving crimes
Okay.
and solving mysteries.
Okay,
I know
the thing is,
this,
we
I
have
know
we
this.
have several of these in Germany, but I don't know which one is yours or like in translation. We have TKKG, TKKG, which is
What?
also a children's group, like a detective gang, which had a lot of books and audiobooks.
These are like classic. These are old,
How old?
books.
Okay,
Like
I-
I don't know when well, I should look it up, but
I think I do know them, but I don't remember the German name. so
well, I
can't
know
say for
that
sure.
TKKG also has like 4 kids and a dog, so it's like a classic trope.
Those famous 5.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that was one of my favorite book series as a kid. I also read the Simonia books,
Oh yeah.
just like NeverPaint.
Explain what they are.
Okay, the Simonia books are several self-contained stories within this interesting world full of out there imaginative concepts that aren't always the most realistic, but
Or serious.
Or serious.
It's very comedic.
Yeah, but it's all very, very fun, very full of puns, very creative. It kind of reminds me, now that I'm thinking about it, reminds me of the way they make worlds in Rick and Morty, where everything is sort of like halfway a joke, halfway a really interesting sci-fi concept.
Yeah.
Except this is more classic fantasy in a way.
It's a lot of classic fantasy parody. A lot of the creatures and tropes that exist in this world are like parody tropes. Also, Walter Mörs, the author of Simonia books, is also the inventor of Captain Blue Bear, who's a famous German childhood nostalgia property. He had like comics and a TV show and stuff. And
I only knew the book. The first time you said he had comics and a TV show, I was like, whoa.
No, the thing is that Walter Mörs made this for many, many years, but at some point he decided, no, fuck this, I wanna write some epic fantasy novels, and so he just wrote The 13 and a Half Lives of Captain Blue Bear, which is the entry to the Simonia series.
Wait, that was after the comics?
Yeah, because he wanted... Captain Blue Bear was his transition to Simonia. So he just used his old childhood, like a children's media character to make like an adult series out of it. Which can also be
I
enjoyed by
assumed it would have
children.
been the other way around.
No,
That's so
no.
interesting.
No, he hasn't made any new comics and stuff since like 20 years. He's only making his novels now.
Huh.
Yeah, and they keep coming out, and it's always something else, something different, like a city full of dangerous books or
Very dangerous books.
very dangerous books that will kill you, and very crazy stuff. And sometimes it's like Captain Blue Bear is pretty child friendly, but they can go pretty grim dark, like very R-rated.
I don't know about R-rated, but there's some very scary concepts in these
And
books.
gruesome violence.
The idea of eternal blackness, of like the deep black, or the whole paragraph where he's lost in between dimensions and he's like losing his mind in space. That was very creepy to 7-year-old me, you know?
But I'm also thinking about Rumo, which
Rumo.
which has this. It's basically Rumo is weirdly the ultimate furry fantasy book because it's about speaking dogs, and they go to an underworld at some point, and it's this really brutal culture of gladiator fights, and it's really gruesome and bloody. But my dad read it to me anyways when I was like 4, so...
I mean, Naruto has that, and I read Naruto when I was like young.
Yeah.
I think it's totally fine if children's books contain violence and dark themes.
No,
like
you
this.
don't understand. That book had like those demons that captured like different species and all kinds of
And
animals,
then put them into an ark so they could be saved.
and put them into an ark and let them be alive so that we could eat them alive, because we wanted only things that could scream and move while they're eating them. We only like things that would scream while eating, so we ate like...
That's the best part, because it's like, it's such a scary thing, but it's also such a just simple childish concept. They want to eat things that scream while they're being eaten.
And we didn't like fish and sea fruits because we couldn't scream.
Sea fruits.
Sea fruits, that's a German thing. We call
What?
it. Yeah, we call things that come Schokolade für Meeresfrüchte.
Wow.
That's
Sea fruits.
really silly.
That's
Yeah.
I just realized that.
I just assume that's an English word too, but it happens.
It's just called seafood.
Seafood?
I think.
Yeah, seafood.
Yeah. We call it seafood.
Seafood.
But yeah, do you feel like it left a negative impact on
No,
your reading?
no.
So why is it not okay?
It's totally okay, but I wouldn't read it to my kids probably.
Okay.
Just fearing that they probably tell their teachers about it or something.
I don't know. I feel like kids can stomach a lot more than we give them credit
Yeah.
for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Definitely. Yeah.
I always feel kind of... It's kind of sad when I see children's books that are just like, oh, this is all just a happy world and there's nothing bad happening there.
Well,
Because children's media is supposed to prepare them for the real world, and it's not all good. There's also bad stuff happening.
you
and
say
gotta
that,
be
but
prepared.
you also really like the Astrid Lindgren novels, and they are really slice of lifey, happy things.
But
But
not
there's
just. They
conflict.
have a lot. They have stuff happening in them that is really
Dramatic?
dramatic and
Wow.
dark.
Maybe I can't remember. It's been a while since we're talking about childhood media. What else? What other childhood media stuff do we have?
We started talking about cartoons yet?
Yeah.
I was about to talk about cartoons.
Please
but
do,
yeah,
Asha.
sure.
Oh God,
You
I
go-
don't
you-
know what
you
to talk
start.
about.
Go for it. Talk about the first cartoons you remember watching on TV.
The
On
Like
VHS.
the first three or something.
first, my whole memory of childhood is a blur, but I remember a bunch
Oh.
of stuff I watched as a kid. Like Cyber 6.
Cyber 6.
You've never
What's
heard of
that?
Cyber 6?
I've heard of the name, but I've never
Okay,
seen
so
it.
it's weird because it's based on an Argentinian comic that's like rated 18, but then the show is for
Oh.
kids. And it's like a Canadian production, but it's also like a Japanese production as well. So
Wow.
it's
Oh, those are the
anime
best.
as well.
Anime.
I love anime that isn't from Japan.
I love Japan, period. But, yeah.
Go for it, Asha.
So it's like about this woman, this girl who's like created by this basically a Nazi who made cyber humans, and then like she ran away, but she needs like this supply of like ooze to like live, and she has to drink it.
Slime.
But it's
perhaps?
created by him, so she can't like do any. She has to like
Oh.
Whoa.
live.
It's like
she
a
has to
toxic
be
relationship.
around like other beings like them and like take their ooze and then like drink it. And she has to fight like all his goons and stuff.
I want to watch this now.
It's
does
super
sound
cool,
very cool.
cool looking. You gotta watch it.
Okay.
Imagine like
Cyber
Ghibli
Six.
level
Goodbye, I'm gonna go watch
animation.
it.
Well, not Ghibli
Well,
level, but
okay,
pretty
I
dang
don't
close.
believe that was on TV. You're gonna have to show us.
It's dope, and the opening theme is
What type?
sick.
Is it now? That's good. Yeah. I was a really big fan of a couple co-productions between Japan and France
What?
called what?
France?
Yeah.
Or
I
Turkey?
really enjoyed these two shows by Tanya Palumbo called Homestar Runners and Code Lyoko, and they were both really good. They had very unique. Oba and Star Racers. I mixed up the names. Oba and Star Racers and Code Lyoko, and they will have this very unique, blocky, geometric style, and they're about cool teenagers fighting evil, and they're interesting.
They have
And
huge
they have a
foreheads.
muted color scheme.
Huge for it. Like, okay. I find it interesting because there seem to be like a lot of co-productions with Japanese animators. Also in Germany, or like there are a lot of German-Austrian co-productions with Japan, like Heidi,
Which theater, yeah.
which is one of my biggest childhood shows, which was made by Isao Takahata, the cool guy who's dead, sadly.
Miyazaki also worked on it.
Yeah, Miyazaki did backgrounds, right?
I think he did backgrounds.
And it really shows because it's a beautiful story about the Alps and a girl who grew up there, but like evil people come and want to bring her away from the Alps because they think it's not good for a girl to grow up in wilderness. And also, they did like a whole ton. They did, how's it called in English? Niels Holger song, which is a Swedish children's book.
By Selma Lagerlöf, yeah.
Yeah.
Same
It's just
thing.
about this guy who gets magically transformed into an imp and then travels around with wild goose to learn all about the geography of Sweden, which is really cool.
It's basically
I
an
hadn't heard
Iyashike
about
show.
this, and it sounds so interesting.
It's really good.
It's definitely a Iyashike show before it existed. And
Yeah. Well, no, there's also moments in there that are like really dark. Like when the wolves attack and stuff like that.
I can't remember wolves from this show, but I can remember wolves from Vicky the Viking, which is also which is also an anime thing.
Hey, Vicky.
Hey, Vicky, hey. Sie fester Segel an.
I watched that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And which is a story about like a gang of Vikings who go on crazy adventures, and sometimes they just want to rob a city, and sometimes they go on those weird Greek myth parody versions of like certain legends. Like there's a whole arc that's about like the Trojan horse, and
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Oh yes.
and they also get lost in a labyrinth and like Arachne. It's cool. It's like One Piece.
Yeah. No, Oda said that he was inspired by this show this show helped him get into pirates and all that stuff.
Also, all these shows are not episodic, not really episodic. They have like overarching arcs, and it wasn't something you really got from other like cartoons from Germany or America a lot.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. There was actually a law in America that prevented TV stations from producing overarching narratives.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I
That's
still grew up with
horrible.
a lot of shows with them though, like stuff like
American Dragon.
Teen Titans, or no, American Dragon also had an overarching storyline, but
it had.
yeah, stuff like Teen Titans also had one. Fucking Ben 10, I remember.
Yeah.
had a really cool story.
Well, that was after they lifted that.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But
Yeah, stuff before that, like Billy and Mandy and Ed and Eddie, are pretty disconnected now that I think about it.
Yeah, or SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which is
SpongeBob
just
is so good.
SpongeBob was like my favorite show for like my first 10 years of my life.
SpongeBob was the only cartoon I was allowed to watch.
That's funny because
That's the
because
only time.
for my
Okay.
roommate, for example, was not allowed to watch SpongeBob because it's somehow really polarizing across parents.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
my
Because-
parents were against it too. Like they didn't forbid me from watching it, but they didn't like it. They said it was too hysteric.
Yeah, it's really out there. You can definitely say that, and sometimes it's also really weirdly dark and obscure. Like
Yeah.
all the body horror parts of SpongeBob. Like
There's this one episode where I remember this one specifically giving me like not nightmares but just keeping me up at night, and it's the episode where he goes he basically falls asleep on the bus.
yeah.
He goes
Oh,
down
yeah.
into a trench and he ends up in this town
And
that's
the deep sea
completely
town.
dark, and it's filled with strange body horror Lovecraftian fish that speak in
It's just-
gibberish that
yeah.
he can't
It's just the deep
understand.
sea.
Yeah,
He went to
but
rock
he-
bottom.
Rock Bottom, yeah, that's the name of
Yeah.
the episode. Thanks, Sasha.
No, that's
Oh,
the name
maybe
of
my favorite
the
episode
town
ever.
he ended up in.
Oh,
Like Bikini
Well,
Bottom to
he-
Rock Bottom. I don't know if that's the name of the episode though.
It is.
Oh,
It's
it
the
is?
name of the
Nice.
episode.
Bottom.
Oh man, that
it's probably my
like
favorite episode.
that was the
That
most
episode just
relatable
kept me
thing
up at
ever as an adult when I seeing like SpongeBob waiting for the bus and be like, okay, maybe just I can leave the stop for like a second, and then the bus just zoomed past him. And he's like, dang it!
Yeah,
It was
it was
driving
so-
me insane as a kid. It was just making me so tense. I wanted SpongeBob to get out of there, and he just kept messing it up over and over. He just couldn't get out of there, and I was so scared
Well,
for poor
the bus-
SpongeBob.
the funny thing is all the scary fish people were actually pretty nice, and Yeah, it was basically just lost in a foreign country.
Yeah.
And couldn't speak the language and didn't know the rules of the public transport.
And that's what's so great about SpongeBob, because it's always something that you can relate to. Like most episodes.
Yeah, like the episode where every character turned into a snail. It was basically Uzumaki.
The most relatable work by master of horror, what's his name?
Hayao Miyazaki.
Hayao Tomino, creator of Neon
One
Genesis
Piece.
Gundam.
But yeah,
Galleon.
speaking of cartoons, I feel like we've been talking about like the age range of like, I don't know, maybe like 3 years up to like 6,
10?
7, maybe.
I
It feels
didn't even
like
watch TV when I was 3 years old. My
I did.
parents were really conscious about technology. That's why I never played video games, really.
But yeah, like my early childhood, like 5, 6 years, is like definitely a blur, and I barely remember anything.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
I
But, like,
remember a lot.
even later on, it's like all I remember is specific video games and watching Pokemon and Digimon and Sailor Moon, I guess, and nothing else. And
So
yeah.
you actually watched the real anime as opposed to
Yeah.
the fake Japanese co-productions.
I watched a lot of anime as well growing up. Surprisingly, it's just Spain constantly had anime blocks on TV, so I watched like
Impossible.
I watched most of Dragon Ball, the original and GT and Z. I watched fucking Captain Tsubasa was super popular in Spain because lol football.
And Hanekawa.
What? Sorry.
Tsubasa Hanekawa. I'm sorry.
Then also Inuyasha I watched a lot.
Yes.
I watched Let's and Go, which was a sports anime about building model cars, and I remember being really into that. Fucking Beyblade, Naruto, and One Piece were really popular in Spain when I was growing up, so they aired them constantly.
Okay.
I watched a lot of anime.
Okay, the thing is, we also had all of that in Germany, like on a...
It was on one channel only.
It was only on one channel, and I wasn't allowed to watch that channel because it was an adult channel. Like,
Oh no.
it was like normal TV, and they had like an anime block in the afternoons.
Yeah.
Oh, this was like Saturday morning shit in Spain.
Maybe it was Saturday morning too here, but it doesn't exist anymore. But
Damn.
that's the reason I never got to watch all of this. So I only got to watch the respectable children media,
Like
aka
Maya the Bee.
Maya the Bee, which is also an anime.
Yeah.
But they only ran like the European-centric European co-productions with Japanese things on the respectable TV
Oh, I
channels.
only recently found out about this show, but it's like a similar thing like Maya the Bee, but it's about a squirrel, and his like a human that turned into a squirrel,
Whoa.
and it's like by the same people. It has the same art style,
Never
and
heard
it's
of it.
surprisingly really good. And it also has a bunch of dark parts. Like he gets, after he turns into squirrel, he finds a village of squirrels after barely surviving for a while, and then something happens that I don't remember, and he just gets banned.
Banned from
City,
He
and
just
he's
accidentally posted like.
and he runs around the woods, I guess.
Oh no.
Okay.
I'll try to look it up later.
Oh, speaking of animals. Oh man, I don't know the English name of this, but have you seen Als die Tiere den Wald verließen?
When the animals left the forest,
Yeah.
would be the
What?
translation. It's an anime. No, it's a cartoon about it's a Zeichentrickserie. It's a cartoon about a bunch of animals that live in a forest, like a whole cast of different forest
I guess
animals,
they leave eventually.
and like I think humans build a street or something,
Yeah.
and they have to flee. They become animal refugees, and it's really dark most of the time because they have to cross streets, and some of the animals
My
get
worst nightmare.
some of this, like there's always an episode they had like a little hedgehog family and they just died on the street.
Hell yeah.
No, not hell no.
I love this show so much.
It's very melancholic because they have to leave their home behind, and
Yeah.
I don't know how it ends. Sadly,
Me neither. I think they found
found a
they
place.
found a new forest or something.
Yeah.
Never Forest.
No, never. Stop it.
It's actually a lot like Pompoko.
Probably, but I haven't watched Pompoko yet because I only watched all the Miyazaki stuff.
Okay. You should
Not
watch
all the
the
Takahata
stuff.
I only watched... doesn't matter. Who here was a bookish kid?
I was.
Hell no.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I read a shit ton of books.
Because when I was in first grade...
Dude, do you remember Captain Underpants and the Perilous Plot of Professor Poopy Pants? I do.
I haven't read that one.
No.
But do you remember Dr. Proctor and the farting powder?
What did you guys read?
I'm not sure if that's a correct English translation, but it's a Swedish book by some really famous Swedish author. Oh no, it's Norway. But it's about a crazy professor who invents a powder that makes you fart very, very strongly, and it's used for. He sends one of his kid friends to the moon with fart. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
That's not fun.
It's very obscure. No, what I want to say is, when I was in first grade, I learned to read, like many of us do, and to the Easter in the next year, I got a little book called Harry Potter. Number
And the
one.
Sorcerer's Stone!
No, it's the Philosopher's Stone. I got the original, the Stein der Weisen. And
The original German book.
I sat down on this day in the garden where I found the book, and I just read the first page, and it took me like 4 hours because I was just very new to books. But I read it in like a year, and then I read all the other ones, and I became the biggest so-called Potterhead, even though that's a stupid name.
Even though that's a racially insensitive term.
Yeah, and that sent me down a road of
No return.
fantasy and violence and witchcraft.
Potterhead, also known as stoners.
God damn it, Alex! Don't put that.
Same crowd, TBH.
What? Just everyone is a Potterhead.
No,
It's-
dude. All the people who watch Wings are stoners now.
Winx. I
Winx
loved
Club.
Winx Club.
Winx.
Oh, hell yeah, Winx
I
Club.
don't know,
Do you guys remember Winx Club?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Winx Club.
It's
I
like,
love their outfits. They're
it's
so
like a
cool.
it's like a magical girl show, but American. Is it
No,
American?
it's Italian.
It's
Oh
Italian.
yeah, yeah, it is. And there's the one girl who's like wears a shiny red dress and dances on top of a disc. She was my favorite. when
Did
I
she
was a
have
kid.
glasses?
No, she did not.
I really
Well,
like the art style.
I don't believe you then.
Shut up.
I really hated the outside.
What was the American
Was too much.
one? Totally Spice or something?
Totally Spies was an American TV show.
Yeah,
and
I like
I
that
loved
one.
it as well, and I liked Witch.
It's that's basically Wings Club, right?
No,
Which
very different.
The girls look cuter.
Yeah, the artist in a more anime style.
I wasn't such a weeb as a child. I only learned
I
about
honestly-
anime like 4 years ago.
I honestly don't know why I was so drawn to anime as a kid. I had like no influences on me because my parents are religious. My brother, I don't know. I haven't talked to him a lot because he's 7 years older than me. So I guess I was just on my own playing video games and
Well,
also watching anime sometimes.
it's like the
And my friends at school just liked Star Wars and Harry Potter, and that's it.
My mom always kind of liked anime. She grew up with Heidi, and she grew up with all the World Masterpiece Theater stuff.
well, mine did too, but they didn't notice it was anime. So
Yeah, of course.
So somehow my mom was like, "I'm gonna buy you the Chihiro movie because I've heard that it looks like Heidi or something like that."
Oh,
and
that's so cool.
So yeah, like my mom made that initial connection. So she kept feeding me little pieces of anime, and then fucking Digimon came out and One Piece came out, and well, that was it for me.
people who watch Ghibli movies in their childhood are like,
Yeah.
I'm so jealous because I all watched them like when I was 17 or 18.
I just
Same.
watched like bits of it when they were on sometimes on TV.
They were on very, very few times, but
I have
I
some
know
DVDs from
I
when I
know
was a kid.
people. I know people who
VHS.
watch it on German TV at some point.
Yeah, something I find really funny is that my grandma always referred to shows like Heidi as that cheap Japanese animation.
Yeah.
Because
Cheap.
Because I guess it's
It
not
is-
on Disney level. It doesn't
well-
have the same. It's not on ones, I guess. I don't know.
It's the,
But now
it's TV animation. It's not on ones.
Yeah.
What a crime.
Well,
My grandma doesn't know anything about animation.
I think
Now I study animation,
But
and
I
I
didn't know what on ones meant.
no, that's not what you said. You just said it's a cheap Japanese animation.
I
And
think
now
she's
I'm
partly
watching.
right though, because I think those co-productions were made to save money.
Yeah, sure, but she
But they
also
still look
referred to
way
it as
better than anything else on
Yeah,
TV.
but
at the
Yeah,
they
time.
yeah.
were cheap at the time.
They look
were-
better than most of the stuff on TV now. So
Yeah. Oh god, I have to rant.
Get it off your chest, man.
all those beautiful World Masterpiece Theater produced Japanese co-productions like Heidi and Vicky and
Did you guys watch Marco, by the way?
let me.
Sorry.
I don't care. And B Maya and Nils Holgersson and all this great stuff. They all got remade in the last few years in a German-French co-production in like the ugliest CG imaginable.
I haven't seen any of this. This sounds awful.
This sounds horrible.
Yeah, it's pretty
I have a little niece who watches this stuff and it's horrible. And it's not like they remade the show with the same story. No, it's like a really infantile, stupid children's cartoon now.
It's for Zoomers.
It's for the thing that comes after Zoomers.
they probably took out all the dark stuff.
They took out all the dark stuff. They took out all the
They
overarching
took out everything,
narratives.
basically. They
Yeah.
just took the surface premise of the characters and made a different show with them.
They just took the Minions movie and replaced the models.
It's not even, and it's the CG is really repulsive because the color schemes are ugly, and like what's it called? Nils Holgersson? How's it called in English? I have no idea.
It's Nils Holgersson.
Okay, it's the guy who writes on Goose, if you remember, dear listener. He has a dwarf cap as in the original show, but it's a pointy cap, and now it's a cool base cap because he's
Hell yeah!
Oh shit!
because he's zooming
I
zooming on
kind
that goose.
I'm okay with how the Heidi one looks. It's not so bad. They do cell shaded
But-
watercolor backgrounds on 3D models, and it's kind of cool.
But why don't they just send the Isao Takahata thing? He
I
only
agree.
died like
I
last
agree.
year.
I agree that the original is better. I just think it's not as offensive as the rest.
It's also the thing that we have to update 2D animation to 3D animation because that's clearly superior.
Especially with Heidi, because Heidi is one of the most beautiful
It
shows
is,
ever
really
made.
is.
Like it goes from just pure joy to the darkest pit of despair, and then back to pure joy.
I mean,
That's
everything
how it
with
goes.
Clara breaks my fucking heart.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so beautiful.
The whole arc in
is
Frankfurt.
fantastic.
It's-
Just the drawings of the mansion, just the backgrounds of the mansion. I'm just getting
Yeah.
flashbacks of the images in my head, and my heart is soaring.
There's that one episode where she's in the attic, walking around, having those flashbacks and those visions of the Alps, remembering how life was like when she was living with her grandpa.
Komm nach Haus, find dein Glück, komm doch wieder zurück.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm reading the book right now, and it's actually the adaptation is pretty good. I had not read the book before, and Takahata did a really well job. Everybody go watch.
Very good. How long is the show, by the way?
I think it's about 60 episodes or something.
Oh, that's not too bad.
We
It's
can.
really funny how
can do that.
NeverPaint sighed like, oh, that's too long. At the same time that I was like, hey, that's not so bad.
I mean, for like old shows,
It's
Yeah.
good. It's good for a children's
No, no,
cartoon,
no.
but because SpongeBob goes all for like 800 episodes.
Should we fast forward a little bit into later in our lives? What did we enjoy when we were like 12, 13, 14?
I can talk about more video games if they.
I
Fair
could.
enough. I mean, I could go on forever, honestly.
Please, Alex, go on, or Asha, or someone else.
Magical girls.
Magical girls.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, magical girls.
When I was like a little kid, my big sister, she was really into Sailor Moon, and she got me into it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And then
Good sister.
I became a huge fan of Cardcaptor Sakura for the dub of it.
Yeah,
Cardcaptor Sakura.
I clung.
Oh, you
Okay.
had that
I
on
love
TV.
Sakura so much. It's so good.
Yeah.
Anyways, keep going.
I guess there's a difference between like the anime that came to like North America versus what came to Europe, because in Europe apparently you
Definitely.
got a bunch of different stuff.
We got mainly the big mainstream stuff, like
Yeah, but you got like
the
world
big
masterpiece
shonen.
shows. I didn't
Yeah,
even know
that's
about
true.
those until like recently.
Well,
Those were co-productions and with classic European stories that most people already knew about here.
Yeah.
So it made sense to release.
I
it
never
here
saw
as
the
well.
end of
Yes.
Green Gables anime, and that's like set
well,
in
we didn't
Canada.
get that. Well, we didn't get that in Germany either.
Yeah.
We did get only certain World Masterpiece Theater shows. Yeah,
Well,
Oh, I was thinking of something and I completely blanked.
doesn't.
I
Also, the
clung to
licensing stuff
every-
is probably...
I clung to every magical girl show I can grab as a kid.
It's
Right.
right.
Oh, right. Okay.
Wait, what are you talking about?
I actually grew up watching Doremi a lot.
Yeah.
Oh,
Doremi
Yeah.
was one of my first anime, proper anime that I
Spanish
ever watched.
TV?
Yeah, on Spanish TV with the Spanish dub. And
Oh
I
yeah,
just
I think
remember.
it's really popular there.
Yeah, for some reason.
For some reason,
remember,
it's the best show
watched,
ever.
I watched Doremi, and then after Doremi, I watched Pretty Cure, and after Pretty Cure, I watched
Yeah.
Peachy Peach, and that was my childhood magical girl trifecta.
Whoa, cool.
I think we had Sailor Moon on German TV,
Definitely.
but it was on. Yeah, we had, but it was on the channel I wasn't allowed to watch. So
Banned from Sailor Moon.
I still haven't watched any magical girl anime really. Besides Madoka, I really have to do that.
We had Cardcaptor too. And
We had?
Yeah.
You need to watch
cool.
Doremi.
Doremi is.
We probably had
Please,
that too, to be
please,
honest. We
please.
probably had that too.
Please, Asha, guide me to the good ones.
Okay, I got a list. I got a list of shorter ones.
Okay, send me the list too.
I mean, Doremi is worth it for the music and the outfits
Oh,
alone.
Well,
Yeah.
it's just
it
so
looks
aesthetic,
extremely pretty,
man.
but I only learned about it like a year ago.
You know what's
Every second of that show is a delight.
ironically, I didn't hate Doremi as a kid, but I didn't like it as much, mostly because the English dub got rid of the music, and it was playing it more
Why?
baby.
No.
It was more of a
That's
baby
the whole
show.
point of the show. It's
So
like
I
a
was
music
10,
show.
and I'm like, I'm 10. I'm grown up, man. I ain't about this. And now I'm just like embracing. I have like a bunch of toys on my table right now. Pretty pure toys. Hee. Whatever.
Send picture, please, for notes.
I do have pictures.
Yeah.
Alright, where's the list?
No,
More
Haven't-
shows, more magic.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know what that sentence was.
I don't
Alex.
know what that
Please
sentence was.
list off more magical girl shows. You said you had a list.
I remember being into Tokyo Mew Mew, but now I hate it.
Oh yeah, I remember Tokyo Mew Mew. That was so big in Spain.
I want a LemonTart soundbite that's just oh yeah,
Oh,
because we watched Fooly Cooly yesterday, and that was every second scene. LemonTart to go, oh this scene, oh yeah.
I really like Fooly Cooly.
uh,
Oh.
can I do my talking rant now?
Yeah,
Go
go
for it.
Yeah.
You asked about what we did when we were like 12 years old, and I had a bunch of Legos. And,
yeah.
and I had an uncle who would like build Lego things with me. That was pretty cool. And he was also a big Lord of the Rings fan, and I didn't know what it was. But he also constantly wanted to build Lord of the Rings stuff out of my castles. And so he just went on and showed me like Gandalf fighting the Balrog in the first Lord of the Rings movie on a YouTube clip. And it was...
Your grandpa knew how to use
No,
YouTube.
it was my uncle.
Oh, uncle.
Also, my grandpa is like an IT guy, and
hell
he
yeah.
knows his shit.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Without him, I would never had any computer ever.
Really?
No. And I was thrilled, and I knew that the book was standing in my dad's library. Because, oh my god, those are toys.
Oh!
We're reacting to Asha's toys.
Yeah. You see that in the show notes.
So many of them.
So,
I just got it yesterday.
Oh,
Cute.
perfect.
hold on. an aside to the Tolkien thing, just quick
Yeah,
question.
it's okay.
Asha, I remember really enjoying watching the first season of Precure. What are other, like, I mean, I barely remember it, so I kind of want to rewatch it, but I know that there's so much of it. What are the best ones? Just send me a message with, like, the best ones or something, because I kind of want to really deep dive into Precure at some point.
Wait, do you
Anyway,
want right now or just I make a list?
Well, just whenever. Don't worry about it.
Just send it
Go
later.
Princess.
Just
Which
before I
is-
forget mentioning it.
Okay.
Okay.
Go for it.
sorry.
In my dad's library, which was just a big room with a lot of books, we had like this tome, this epic tome.
Tome?
A big red book which said Der Herr der Ringe.
Yeah!
Which means Lord of the Rings, by the way.
It means Sir of the Rings. El Señor de los Anillos.
No. It was this big red book at like the cut paper post, what is called? The paper what was also painted red.
The hardcover?
Yeah, it was a hardcover, but also the pages were painted red on the sides.
Oh!
It was completely red, a block of red, but it also had like a paper wrap around it that had like a sparkle and looked like
sparkle?
It looked like an old tome, and it was like 1,800 pages or something like that, and very, very small letters. And I said to my mom, can I watch Lord of the Rings movies? My uncle recommended them, and she was like, no, read the book first.
Whoa!
And I was like, hell yeah!
Yeah!
So I spent like maybe 3 months working myself through that giant thing, and it was the best thing in my life. So I actually read Lord of the Rings before The Hobbit, which is like the children's book version of Tolkien stories. And the thing was, my uncle said that we would do after I finished the book, we would do a Lord of the Rings marathon and watch all 3 movies in a special extended edition. That takes like 12.5 hours, and we did that. And it was the second time I experienced the best thing in my life. And yeah, since then, Tolkien and Middle-earth is deeply ingrained into my soul. And there's just so much of it, because I still haven't read everything. I read like The Hobbit like a year later, which isn't as good, but it's still great, because it was like Tolkien's first try in writing a novel at all, because it just wrote like weird poems and legends before.
Nice.
Many people don't know that, but Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit are not Tolkien's main works, because those are like the popular ones, but he worked on the Silmarillion for his whole life, which is the overarching legend.
Bible.
It's the Bible, yes. It's a giant legendary mythos of everything Middle-earth, the entire history of the world, and like the gods creating and fighting over the world.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
it goes over centuries and centuries and millennia actually, and it starts multiple millennia before even the sun or moon even exist. Sun and moon get made throughout the book. It's fantastic. Yeah, and like the Lord of the Rings story is like the last 3 pages of the Silmarillion. And then he wrote The Hobbit, and like The Hobbit got really popular, so the publisher said, we want more Middle-earth stuff, please. And Tolkien was like, okay, now I can publish my Silmarillion novel I wrote for my whole life since I was like 19 and fought in World War One.
Whoa.
I can. Yeah, he started writing the Silmarillion in World War One, actually, in the trenches.
Did
as
he
far as
fight
I
in
know.
World War II as well?
No, because it was all. Or like he was a respected professor back then, so he didn't have to. Well, we're gonna do a Tolkien episode at some point, so we're gonna have a lot more to rant. But basically, he tried to send him the Silmarillion, and the people were like, no, we want something with hobbits, because there are no hobbits in the Silmarillion. And so he said, okay, I'm gonna write the Hobbit too, which took.
I guess I'm writing another Hobbit story.
Yes. And so he did, and the publisher was like, cool, we're gonna get a new novel like next year or something. And it took him like 16 years. Because he's a goddamn perfectionist and he wrote like 4 or 5 different versions. And it slowly turned from a Hobbit sequel to a Silmarillion sequel, because he thought, no, when I'm gonna write a huge epic fantasy thing, I'm gonna write it as the ending of my Silmarillion story. Yeah. Also, Lord of the Rings is 1 book or 6 books, not 3, because just the publisher wanted to cut it because the paper prices were so high.
Why not 3?
Because it's supposed to be 1 story, and it's parted into 6 books that are basically always 2 books per book per yeah. But it's 1 overarching story. It doesn't. The books don't make much dramatic sense on its own.
Oh, so you can't just randomly watch any episode?
No, you can't. Sadly. You can't plug in an
So
episode of Lord of the
you're
Rings.
saying it's not like American TV from the late 90s, early 2000s?
No, it's sadly not. He probably really hated those.
It's not like Billy and Mandy.
Yeah, and after his death, his son Christopher Tolkien made it his life. He made his entire life purpose to like sort and finish his dad's work, and so he published the Silmarillion a few years later, which is like a combination of many different stories Tolkien wrote, strung into 1 narrative. But also there are like tons more stuff, and they're constantly getting more books released, which is pretty funny because Christopher Tolkien is also like 95 years old now.
95?
Something like that.
Oh my god.
Or like, I could be wrong. Please don't Google it. Please don't check that back.
Please don't prove him wrong.
So, after Neverending Story and Inkheart and Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings was the last big thing I did in my childhood. That I consumed in my childhood. It basically consumed the entire rest of my youth. Until I discovered anime. Yeah, and someone else go next because I can't speak anymore.
Okay, I want to go next because basically I discovered video games in a big way. But before I got really into video games and they became my main thing, I was also a fantasy book boy.
Yeah! High five!
High five!
That was a bad high five.
Really
I'm sorry, I'm not bad.
it was so bad again. Come on.
It's my wrong
There
arm.
we go.
Yay!
Gotta give it a little whip at the end.
It's not my main arm. Sorry.
Good excuse. So I was also really into Harry Potter. And then I was also really into Neverending Story. So I feel like we can find a bit of a common ground there. But then I was one of those kids that really got into American young adult stuff, like more modern things, like Percy Jackson.
Oh no!
Yeah, I adored Percy Jackson, and I also read this book series by the lady that wrote The Hunger Games before The Hunger Games.
Oh!
And it was called Gregor the Overlander, and it's about this 10-year-old boy who finds a trapdoor in Central Park that takes him to this universe under the ground.
Dude.
Oh, I know that one.
You
I think
do?
that was the same
Nobody
person.
knows this!
I read this.
How does everybody knows everything else when Hunger Games from Suzanne Collins? I only know
I've
Hunger
never
Games.
met somebody that read those. They're by the Hunger Games lady.
Suzanne
I didn't know it was the
Collins.
same
It's
person.
really-
Yeah.
I love those books.
Right?
Yeah.
They're really
A
good.
lot more than
Also-
the Hunger Games, actually.
Yeah.
What?
They're really interesting and cool, and it's a
Also-
unique world full of giant bugs and giant bats.
Also, I turned into a teenage girl for a few years and became a big Hunger Games fan.
Oh yeah, me too.
Well, I did read it too, but it just didn't grab me as much as that at the time.
Oh god, I remember finishing the last Hunger Games book,
And
and
cry.
I was just like, I mean, when did the last one come out? Because I read them before.
2012 or something like that.
Yeah, I read all of them before any movies were made or anything.
No, I didn't, because the first movie was already out. Actually, reading the first Hunger Games book may be my most intense reading thing I ever did, because I just found randomly at a trip where we went to see some relatives or friends, and just found this book I just opened it. It didn't put it down at all. Like I read like the first half
Oh, that's great.
on this evening, and on the car ride back I read the rest. And at the end of the book there was a little advertisement for the movie. So I got home, watched the movie, and it was also great, and I loved it. And it was I was shaking during the movie because it was so close. Yeah, it was somehow I think. Many people disagree, but I think the Hunger Games movies really capture the books.
I barely remember them somehow.
They are great. They are pretty great. They're great actors and a lot of great designs, and they condense the story in a really effective way.
I remember really liking how what's her name? The really funny hairdo lady looks in the movie. I really like her.
Yeah,
I don't remember her name at all, but she's like a presenter.
Effie.
Yeah, that was her name.
Anyway, she's
just
cool.
Effie Trinket. Yeah, she's creepy.
Yeah,
but also
I like
she
her.
has
She's
a heart of
very
gold.
colorful.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I really got into those sorts of books. I'm just trying to remember more series that I read. There was this one Spanish series called Memorias de Idun that was really, really popular.
What does it translate to?
Memories of Idun.
Oh.
Idun being a continent, country sort of thing. Actually, is it? I don't remember. Anyway, it's like an edgy teenage love triangle story between this cool American guy called Jack with fire powers and this icy cold guy that can turn into a giant snake, and then this girl from Madrid that gets abducted into this fantasy world, and you have like this fiery guy that turns into a dragon and wants to be with her, and the icy cold guy with an ice sword that wants to be with her, and then she's a unicorn, and they're all like animals of legend personified into people. I remember being really into it, and now that I start talking about it, I'm remembering more and more.
That's basically this entire podcast.
Yeah. So I had that period of my life in which I really got into books, but then around when I was like 11 or so, I had always gone to this weekly painting class, but I switched from a painting class into a comic book drawing class.
Wow.
And suddenly
Why didn't I have that?
had weird weebs all around me. And this one weeb told me, hey, why don't you watch this one thing called Soul Eater? And I was like, whoa, I guess I'll watch Soul Eater. 10 years later, has watched anime for every day of his life. I immediately just deep dived into cool shonen action anime after that. I watched so many of them. I consumed anything I could grasp. I rode the wave of the shonen battle harem from 2011, 2012, and I crashed it down into Sword Art Online. I was part of the whole zeitgeist of that whole era, and it felt great. It's probably some of the most nostalgic memories I have of going to conventions at 13 or 14 years of age and creeping my parents out when they saw the Dakimakuras at the stalls.
That's the best part of every convention, creeping your parents out.
And besides that, I played a lot of RPGs, a lot of video games, a lot of Pokemon.
Yeah.
And I sort of stopped reading when I got really into anime and drawing and Pokemon.
Oh no. Okay. I also kind of stopped reading the last year or so because of my university studies and stuff. God, what do I want to say? I'm really jealous of you getting into anime so early, because I got into it like 15 or 16 years old, and I started with Attack on Titan.
Actually, it's been part of my whole life.
It was, I think it was, yeah, it was actually a girl who got me into anime.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Nothing came of that.
Except anime.
but it's, yeah, a lot actually. I'm really thankful. And I thanked her at the end of our high school time, especially for that. Yeah, and I watched Attack on Titan, I watched Death Note, I watched Sword Art Online in this row, which is also, I think...
in that order.
And I watched it all in like 1 or 2 days.
Oh god!
And then I discovered that they are also the 3 most popular things on my anime list at the time. So yeah, that made total sense. I found those 3 things first.
I I kind of didn't watch the most popular things. I mean, I did.
Well, I did, but
a lot
on
of what I
accident.
watched was just I went to comic book class and I was like I was still quite young, so I didn't really go on forums or anything because I was scared of using a computer. We'll probably have to do an internet history episode at some point.
It's planned.
Yeah, that's why I was foreshadowing it.
Sorry.
But yeah, I was actually kind of scared of like downloading and streaming shows and all that. So I would just tell my dad, like, "Hey Dad, can you please go on Emule and download all of Soul Eater for me?" And then he would do that. So I remember watching shit like Soul Eater and Gurren Lagann when it came out.
God.
It was great.
Awesome.
I wish I would have watched Gurren Lagann when I was like 12.
Did you watch it? How did you watch it? Were there like Spanish dubs or subs?
No, my dad would just download the Japanese version with subtitles.
Perfect.
English
Yeah.
subtitles, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Around that time, they also stopped airing any sort of anime on Spanish TV.
Yeah, they did that too on German TV at the time, I think, because the anime block on the adult channel got discontinued, and then there was just no anime for
a couple of years, and now it's back, and it's like just Naruto and One Piece, and like some newer shows. Like,
they have a bunch of newer shows.
I remember Guilty Crown airing.
They have
Specifically Guilty Crown.
Yeah, I mean,
What?
I never watched TV, and I just saw it on going through channels.
But that's like a
my
very
grandma.
sexy show, right? As far as I know. I'm not sure if that should be on TV.
not very. The character designs are really sexual, but there's not a lot of fan service actually.
Fair enough. I haven't seen it. I just remember lots of Guilty Crown porn being around at some point.
Oh, I mean,
Well,
Anyway.
they have a night block now where they show relatively recent stuff, like they show Goblin Slayer now, I think,
oh, yeah.
and like the second season of Attack on Titan.
Yeah, whenever I'm like
2018.
at an electronics store and I look at the anime section, I'm surprised every time.
How much stuff actually comes over?
Yeah, especially like some shows that I wouldn't assume would come over. I don't have an example yet, but
I mean,
The
Kokoro
Asterisk
Connect
Wall.
is right there.
I
Who
mean,
the fuck remembers Kokoro Connect, man?
the one I
Oh,
bought
yeah, oh my
yesterday
God.
was...
I remember that show.
Asha remembers.
I love Kokoro Connect. Yesterday we were at like a manga store, and I...
Two actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got a used English copy of the first volume of the manga.
I got a huge thing of posters with cool posters in it.
But yeah, recently I was also like browsing through Amazon, and I accidentally came across like a DVD set of Genshiken out of all shows with the German dub. And
A German dub.
I was
Beat up everything. If it's
Yeah.
releases in Germany, it's dubbed.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it happens in Spain too, but with a lot of anime, they just don't bother to dub it and
No,
just release it in
definitely all dubbed
subtitles.
always.
I was really surprised.
It's not even that bad always. I'm the German dub defender here.
The dub defender, the DD. That's your superhero name.
GDD.
Dub defender.
Yeah, better than PP. Q.
Okay. I had some more things to talk about.
Please.
My childhood stuff.
Graf,
Please.
go talk
There
to us
was
about
this
your things.
one book / TV show that I was into called Chin Knopf. Also-
What?
Also written by the guy who wrote Neverending Story, Michael Ende. And I just remember listening to the audiobooks over and over and over again.
Okay.
And then watching the
Fantastic.
TV show. And it's just about this kid that travels around.
It's a tiny black boy and a huge fat white train driver.
Yeah, exactly. And they travel around in a train. They travel around in an engine.
Yeah.
And it swims and it flies and does everything. And they go to China and they fight dragons.
I think you're
It's-
just talking about Magic School Bus.
They fight. Okay, they have this train engine that's a boat and a perpetuum mobile. They have just, you know what a perpetuum mobile is, right?
No.
It's
Is it a German term?
No,
It's a Latin. A perpetuum mobile is a
machine.
machine.
Okay,
It's a machine that powers itself endlessly.
Now that I was listening to it as Latin and not as something in German that I didn't understand, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it's that, and they have a steam engine, and they're attached on a pole. They attach 2 electromagnets. So whenever they turn the electromagnets on, the engine just starts flying because it gets pulled up by magnets on the pole.
That's how magnets work.
Yeah, science. Yes, science.
I remember seeing a play of that in primary school.
It
was
is
really cool.
It is a very famous play by the Augsburger Puppenkiste, which is a puppet theater in Germany. It's very old and very famous.
There's also an anime, but I've never watched that.
It's not an anime.
No, there's an anime. They made an anime before
What?
the German TV show.
What?
Yeah.
There's an anime?
There's an anime. I've never watched it, but the German cartoon is also really good. Although the animation looks horrible most of the time, but like
It's okay.
they changed some.
This is a very German episode of the podcast.
Well, we are in Germany after all. I'm sorry.
I'm joking.
Asha can bring in some Canada stuff.
Yeah.
Let's go enjoy Tim Hortons. Let's go bond over the one thing our countries share, Asha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Horton hört ein Hu.
Yeah. Oh, Dr. Seuss, another big childhood thing for me. I love Dr. Seuss.
Did you want to continue?
No, I think we're done with
continue.
Jim Knopf. I don't know.
Jim Knopf or Jim Button, which would make probably the translation. It's like a fantasy epic road trip kind of thing, and it has dragons and pirates.
Yeah, the
basically
pirates are the
perfect.
best. They're just such a cool bunch of lads.
The
So-
White 13.
Such a cool bunch of lads, mate.
They are 13 pirates that all look exactly the same.
They're all
It's
brothers.
just like One Piece.
They are all brothers, and they are called the White 13. And
It's the Organization 13 from Kingdom Hearts.
okay, big spoiler. I'm sorry, big spoiler for the end of Jim Button. They aren't actually 13. They are only
Just like Kingdom Hearts.
They are only 12, and that's how they find out that in the end, and then we realize, oh no, we're not the White 13. That means we're not the villains anymore. So they just become good guys because they realize that they're not 13 but 12.
Yeah, it basically become friends with
The main characters, yeah.
That's
Speaking of Kingdom Hearts, though, my early teenage years was Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah!
And that's most of what I remember, because
First
I feel
PS2
so
game
left
I ever
out.
completed. Like the first. Well, yeah, go on. Sorry.
yeah, I don't know. I don't remember much from those years, like between 10 and 15. But I know I played Kingdom Hearts. I know I read a bunch of Harry Potter, and
Well,
I remember watching weird Disney Channel shows like Hannah Montana.
Yes! Oh, Disney Channel and Nickelodeon live action.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, Drake and Josh, Wizards of Waverly Place.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I actually
iCarly.
hated
Yeah.
all of those except iCarly. iCarly was great. And
iCarly
iCarly
is
is
the one I would rewatch.
iCarly is
Yeah.
weird because it's about a podcast, right? It's
No, it's
a-
about web show.
It's about
Yeah,
web
it's
show.
like a vlog
web
thing.
show, but it was years before I knew what a web show even was. Somehow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
pretty future retro sort of thing.
Yeah.
Anyways, the only thing I know about Kingdom Hearts is that 1 3-hour-long YouTube video where one guy explains it in its eternity.
Which guy is he? The best guy?
No, he's bad. He's definitely not the best one.
Oh man, I'm so excited about rewatching all of those old Nickelodeon comedy shows.
But also I want to watch a lot of new stuff. It's hard. Life is too short.
I
man.
know, but
Life is too short.
I just really want to rewatch Drake and Josh and iCarly.
Yeah.
Sounds so fun.
I think we got a good overview of all the stuff we already consumed, which was a bunch. Like,
Yeah.
really a lot.
Can I list some video games?
Please.
Sure,
Yeah.
go for it.
I remember playing a lot of Diablo 2, Warcraft 3.
At what age?
Like
teenage
8
years?
to
Wait,
12,
you're still a
maybe.
teenager.
A2 level.
I definitely played a bit of the old Counter-Strike. What else?
My parents would have killed me for playing any shooter game.
I was definitely playing in secret. My
Okay.
parents were religious, after all.
But they were Russian.
Well,
They really like Counter-Strike over there.
just
For some
every
reason, I
Russian.
was really into racing games, even though I hated actual cars. I loved both Need for Speed Underground games. The Rayman, the 3D Rayman game.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Rayman!
I replayed them recently and they're so good.
I love Rayman.
How did I... Okay, you talking about cars made me realize, like, I don't know, I think it's so... it's like that in every country, but the main thing that gets marketed to young boys is cars. And I never really liked cars.
It's like one subsection.
I'll do you one better. Football.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Yeah, but you can't sell that many football toys. You can sell a lot of different
you'd
cars.
be surprised how they monetize football, Bill.
Yeah, I guess, but
I mean, it's also children's
no.
games on football.
no, the thing is, for me, my cars were dinosaurs.
Yeah!
And I spent... for many children, the big dinosaur media is Jurassic Park. But I actually never watched Jurassic Park. I instead just consumed books and books, like scientific books or children's books about dinosaurs.
NeverPaint. Books don't have pictures about dinosaurs.
They had pictures. They had
they do?
beautiful illustrations.
Oh.
And when I talk about dinosaurs and beautiful illustrations, I have to talk about my about my personal god, James Gurney.
Hell yeah.
Who you may know from his YouTube channel, link in the description. Please do that, editor. Whoever it is.
Editor Graf.
We're gonna all edit this together.
Okay, good.
Oh,
James,
that sounds fun.
James Gurney has a YouTube channel. He's a traditional painter. He paints with watercolors and gouache. And he made this picture book series, basically, called Dinotopia.
Whoa.
Which is... it's like a traveler's journey of two guys who crashed a plane somewhere in the Pacific Ocean, and they got on an island where dinosaurs and humans survive together and have formed a society in peace. It's a huge hippie club, basically.
Disgusting. I'm joking.
No,
and
it's not like hippies.
They are really nature bound because they live in it's basically like an indigenic is that a word?
Indigenous.
Indigenous culture with like
I have no idea what that
tribal
means.
culture. I have no idea what it means in German. I don't know.
Indigenous means native to some place.
Yeah.
Oh.
And yeah, it's all about exploring their culture, and they have like it's like such a it's a big picture book, and it has like this big 2-page watercolor paintings of their giant cities that are inhabited by humans and dinosaurs alike.
That does sound pretty great.
And they ride on dinosaurs, and they read dinosaurs books, and some dinosaurs learn to read too. Yeah. And we actually made that into a American TV live action movie.
Fraggle
show.
Rock?
No, it's also called Dinotopia. And they are pretty
Right,
okay,
Fraggle Rock.
but I really like them.
I
Also-
remember them as being pretty good.
Also, yeah, they had like really wonky CGI, of course, because it
Okay.
was the early 2000s and a TV movie series.
I didn't notice that back then. I just
Yeah,
just
of
saw
course.
cool dinosaurs and people going
That
on
was-
adventures.
That was my Jurassic Park. Actually, I always complained about Jurassic Park when I heard things about them because it's very scientifically inaccurate, and I was like the little dinosaur science boy. Yeah. Also, Land Before Time, which is fantastic.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
I just recently rewatched it.
Oh,
It's so
fantastic!
good.
I found a DVD recently in a bookstore for like only $4.
Oh, nice. It's also on Netflix.
Oh, nice. Fuck you.
You don't know how long it will stay on Netflix.
That's true.
I remember just going to the local VHS rental store and
God, you're
getting
old.
the Land Before Times movies and watching them in my tiny Japanese village. Japanese.
What?
Please kill me. Okay.
What a fucking weeb!
I'm dumb. I mentioned this before, but Alex, are you okay? Basically, my family lives in a smaller
Japanese
Spanish
city
town up north, and this town had the unlikely service of a video rental when I was a little kid there. So me and my uncle would play Ninja Turtles on the NES, and then we would turn off the NES and go rent a VHS, and it was a nice retro cathode ray tube TV experience.
Dude, did you grow up in the 80s or something?
No, I didn't. My little town up in the north just happened to be quite retro, and that's how we spent the afternoons.
I'm exhausted.
It's pretty cool because I ended up inheriting that NES, and now I have one. My uncle probably, through playing video games with me, planted that little seed that's turned me into a really big fan of them today. Land Before Time.
Yeah,
It's
beautiful movie.
Really heartbreaking too.
Yeah. And
everybody talks about Bambi's mother, but goddamn, Littlefoot's mother's death was way sadder.
I don't even remember watching Bambi.
I mean, neither.
I don't think I ever.
But I know
watched
it's better.
Well, should we move on to the
Power
I
Rangers.
had some.
Power Rangers!
Did anyone watch
onto
Power
Power Rangers?
I did!
Yeah!
Oh!
Oh man. I had like
had
a good period where I was just really into Power Rangers.
Same so
The
much.
the first season I was really into, apparently the actor who played the Red Ranger killed his roommate with a sword.
That's not funny at all.
That's the coolest thing you've ever told me, Asha.
No, dude, kids see teleport
Which is
behind
sad
someone's
because
head.
I
Nothing
really
else
liked
is
him.
good.
Oh,
Oh,
that's so cool. But also terrible.
that's terrible.
Yeah, I'm sorry, mate. I also really loved Power Rangers. I really got into the animal series and the dinosaur series.
Even though there was a dinosaur series, I saw a few episodes, but I never got into it at all. I don't know, maybe the German dub was just
Giant
really bad.
Robots.
Okay, I wasn't really interested in robots before I watched the anime, so it's kind of, it wasn't my thing as a kid, but it probably would be now.
It's kind of interesting that you're so into Magical Girls and Power Rangers because I feel like they have such a similar appeal. You know what I mean,
Yeah, the
right?
formats
Like
pretty
it's
similar.
all cool outfit designs, and the format is them transforming and killing a bad guy.
It's basically just a girls and a boys version of the same thing.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, like Sailor Moon was inspired by Super Sentai, which is what Power Rangers
Yeah.
based on.
Yeah, they have
Yeah,
like
makes sense.
the outfits are kind of similar.
Makes sense.
By the way, I
I've
just
gotten to it.
remembered. I have a funny story because there's this. Right now in Uniqlo, which is a Japanese clothing store, they have this collab with Sailor Moon they have really cool Sailor Moon designs on their T-shirts, and we just happened upon one in Berlin 2 days ago. So I went in and I blindly bought an S-size Sailor Moon T-shirt, and then I got back home and
He got so excited.
I was so excited. I was in a bit of a rush, so I just bought it without trying it on. And we got back home in Dresden, which is a couple hours away, and I went to try it on, and I realized it's a woman's small instead of a men's small, and it's
send it-
way too small.
Send it
on
to me, please.
Well, that's what I was gonna suggest. Maybe I can send it to you. It's really cool. It has Luna on top of the shirt pocket, and the shirt pocket has a cityscape background on it, and it's really beautiful.
Like right now
And
at
it's dark blue.
Uniqlo in Canada, all they have right now, they have like a Gundam collab, and what else
Oh,
was
that's what
it?
they had a couple months
Yeah,
ago.
that's all they have right now.
The Sailor Moon one came out literally 2 days ago, so maybe you want to go check again.
I don't know. I checked the website. Haven't been promoting it. I don't know. Every single
Every
day, I
day.
check it.
Fair enough, Asha. Fair enough. Okay,
I
I believe you.
Somehow, even though I was involved with Weeb culture for like the last 4 years, I never heard about this store before Lemon got really excited about it on
Well, we just happened to see it,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Oh my God, is the Sailor Moon collab up?"
I
And it
don't think
was.
there are any more in Germany. I've never heard of it.
I also bought a nice sweater. It's nice.
It nice. Nice!
That's pretty good, right?
Yes, it is. Also, we watched Furikuri yesterday, guys.
We've mentioned it.
Yeah, we've mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, hashtag sketch with us. Let's move on to
Hell
the
yeah.
next
Hey,
segment.
can I?
Yes, tell about the games. Tell us about the
Oh
games.
my god, I'm sorry, Alex. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna make it quick. I've played way too many hours of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, and my cousin
Does not
had
surprise me.
my cousin had Turok Evolution on GameCube, and he never wanted to play with me, so I forced his sister to play against me, and she got really pissed all the time. But I had so much fun.
To Rock Evolution, do you need both a Leaf Stone and a Fire Stone to evolve that Pikachu?
Yeah.
Two Rock.
I got it, Lemon.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, and I started playing Pokemon at like age 10, and yeah.
I started playing Pokemon like 3 weeks ago. You can watch my streams
I've
at
played every single Pokemon game.
twitch.com/neverpaint with 2 T's.
I also played
Ouch.
Pokemon.
Watch out, man. You're gonna
Physical
knock
world, god damn it.
that- Yeah.
Also, I don't want to talk about it if no one knows anything about it, but has any of you seen the movie Zatura, I think?
I have seen Satura. It's
yeah.
yeah.
It's like the only movie I remember from my childhood.
Oh, it's
and,
great.
It's so cool.
It's basically Jumanji but in space.
Yeah.
It's about a board game, but the board game takes you into outer space, and you have space adventures, and your house turns into a spaceship, and it's really cool.
Yeah, it didn't really make that much sense if you
Does
think
it
about
have to?
Yeah. But it was super cool. Like the house just got into space and they could
Yeah.
breathe, but also if like 1 pixel of light was if like any light was lit in the house, in the whole house, no matter if it was like covered or not, like some aliens would just invade the house and kill him.
Yeah.
And it was super weird, but also really, really cool.
I watched too much TV as a child, I think, and I talked about with my parents about it recently, that I watched that many great shows, and they were like really worried because they thought I didn't watch as much TV as I did.
Why are they so concerned about TV?
Because TV is obviously evil, and it turns your eyes to squares. And
To be fair, you do wear glasses, and they are square.
don't spoil, my avatar doesn't wear glasses. Oh, god damn it, do I have to draw NeverPaint with glasses now?
I mean,
I
I
have to
would.
draw him with sunglasses now.
Oh yeah, well, we should all wear sunglasses all the time.
No.
Yeah.
Mine's on top of my glasses.
By the way,
Hell yeah.
my glasses on that picture you're talking about are not sunglasses, but 3D glasses.
They are.
Because I'm in the physical world. Picture in the show notes, we're gonna add this later.
Yeah.
Also, Graf in his avatar has sunglasses, but he hasn't worn them once since he came to Sketchy Con.
You know, I
God
do
damn
not
it,
even
Graf.
own sunglasses.
Why do you dry yourself with them?
Doesn't like drawing
that profile
eyes.
picture grew out of a funny, just a coincidental picture that I took with my brother's glasses on.
Okay.
And then I
fair
just
enough.
made my profile pic and I liked it. So
Fair enough.
Guys,
Fine.
Hashtag sketch with us.
Oh, that
Yeah.
was loud.
We have entries. Sorry, dear listener.
Hashtag Sketch with Us is a weekly hashtag in which you can post your artistic progress as well as drawings related to the episode that we just talked about. Our first entry is from our boy called I'll Die
Corporation.
at AllDie314 on Twitter. He will die without pie.
And he
posted
sketched
a drawing.
his waifu for the waifu cast we did relatively recently.
Yeah, it's from the show Hisomaso.
Hisome to Masotan.
Yeah, it's such a good show.
It's
I think
really
I think
cute.
it aired last year, and it's about dinosaurs.
It's really nice.
It's a dragon. It's not a dinosaur.
It's a fighter jet, everybody. Did you guys just not watch the show?
Yeah, it's a
I'm
fighting.
so sorry.
It's a dragon that wears basically an armor that can turn into
Yeah,
it's a
fighting
Gundam.
jet.
It is the
pretty
Gundam.
cool. It's really good. Sorry.
Also, the girl that doesn't actually ride on his back but gets eaten by it and is in his stomach.
Yeah, his stomach is a cockpit. Also, the ending theme of the show is this adorable,
Yeah.
French pop song, and they do this little choreography to it, and
It's
I adore it,
amazing.
and I adore the outfits, and just the general cute aesthetic of the show is really nice.
Yeah.
Oh, this one.
Wow.
It's on Hornhaut.
Are we also discussing this?
Oh yeah,
It's just-
should we discuss water brushes?
Yeah.
How we all have a water brush now.
Yeah.
Man, I bought a water brush like a couple months ago, and last week I bought a little sketchbook with like watercolor paper, and I haven't touched any of this once because I'm
Tomorrow we'll draw together.
We're gonna do that
Alex.
tomorrow, yes.
Yeah.
There's this really funny moment a couple days ago where I ran out of water in my water brush, and NeverPaint has so many water brushes that I was just like, oh man, I ran out of water in my water brush, and NeverPaint just reaches into his bag and pulls out a couple more, and he just like feeds the lifeblood of his own water brushes into mine
The life,
until I
By
have
the way,
water again.
the water, the life fluff of a water brush is just water. But yeah,
It was special water, damn it.
I made this little sketch thing when I saw Asha getting into water brushes, and yeah, that made me really happy.
I like me in the background, just walking away, triumphant fist in the air with my water brush. Yeah.
Yeah. Next one. What's
Alright.
next
Next
one?
one.
Oh,
Oh.
it's from the Pikachu girl,
Yeah,
Drakaya.
It's from Drakaya.
I haven't watched it, but I love looking at pictures of it.
What, Drakaya or Hayamanireme?
Both. I really like Drakaya's avatar, I guess.
It is very
see.
funny.
It's really, really nice. Yeah.
I made that. Yeah, that illustration is just fantastic. I really like the. Oh, it's gone. I really like the lighting of the colored version.
Yeah,
it's
the
beautiful.
colors are really nice. And that's also thanks for including the sketch and the finished version.
Yeah,
It truly is a sketchy piece of content.
it wouldn't be accepted if it was just the finished version.
No.
Throw it in the trash.
Please finish your drawings, everybody. Use color, experiment with color. Color is the best.
If you want to, of course.
No.
You can also do monochrome stuff. Oh, I haven't seen that before.
You haven't? You haven't seen Shadow the Ryuoko the Hedgehog?
Oh! Oh, now I get it. Oh god, I have to read.
Next one is by Chip Wiseman.
Yeah,
I got
Chip
it.
Wiseman drew this really funny picture of a hedgehog dressed
my
as
God.
Ryuko from Kill
Oh
la
my
Kill.
god.
And it's Shadow the Hedgehog, get it?
And it's
yeah.
I gotta find out who killed my
Dad.
dad.
And there's just
I
this
hear
really
a
cool
voice of
perspective shot of
You
the
in my
academy.
mind.
Yeah, I really like the composition on this one. Like
It's
with
really
the text
nice.
and everything.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
It's I somehow haven't seen this already. It's
Oh my god.
The next one is from I can see the name.
It's Nico at Big Bonerland. Once again on the show.
Once again on the show.
Who drew this thing.
Captured with almost died.
You know, I actually was sitting next to him when he drew this. Because he's my brother.
Put that in the wiki.
It's like it's a weird quadruple monster animal thing.
Whatever it is, there's gotta be some way to fuck it. So it's,
Damn it, Lemon.
it's a worthy entry.
I'm not sure if it's supposed to be a waifu because we have another
Oh,
by
yeah.
him, which is
Who's my wife?
his waifu Ritsu.
It
from
doesn't.
K-On!
Is that Ritsu? I don't get the
Yeah,
joke.
at first I thought that there was Mob Psycho.
Because it's Mob Psycho,
Yeah,
that's
it's
a joke.
Ritsu from
Oh.
Mob Psycho.
Oh, there's also
Because when
okay.
you Google Ritsu, it's like 50% it's Ritsu from Mob Psycho, 50% from K-On!
Well, I
Oh shit!
I harshly disagree
Somehow
with
to make
that
a
Google.
connection that they're both called Ritsu.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
The main character's brother is called Ritsu.
That drawing is pretty cool because it has those weird bits.
The rectangles are
with
really
bit-
cool.
with bits flying over it.
Square brushes are underrated.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I'm proud of him.
Good job.
Graf goes into Big Brother mode.
Good
Yeah.
job, Nico. Good job, Big
Good job,
Boner
Nico.
Land.
Oh yeah, I was there when this happened.
It's from a boy, Gibbontake.
Yeah, so Gibbontake and I met up in London on my last day before I left the UK. If you guys remember that whole arc of my life, I sure don't. And we just popped into a Starbucks at one point in the day, and we started drawing for a couple hours, and we both finished our entries for Sketch With Us. So he drew his waifu, Vriska, from Homestuck.
It's a whole
the
lot of
mean girl
Vriskas.
with heart of gold, and she's there. She's wearing a Happy Lemon T-shirt.
It's
And
a very
she's
cute outfit.
drinking some bubble tea, waiting for you to go on a date together, and they're
Ah.
very cute.
There's also Alley-oop.
There's
Also
there's
alley-oop.
alley-oop and just Teresi like turned around in the background. And then he just
Oh my
googled a
God.
picture of a motorbike and started drawing a motorbike, and it was a really cool motorbike. And Vriska's gonna win the race, and John Egbert is
This-
just staring in the background.
Yeah.
This it's a really cool motorbike. I really like how small the front wheel is.
Yeah,
Wheel is. And those are cool and
he was on the last episode, by the way,
pretty
everybody.
clean. Yeah, what the last episode was about dating 3D women and boys.
Disgusting.
And, well, okay, these are a lot of entries by Nico.
Nico.
That's okay.
Um,
It's a ghost. It's a ghost sketch and it's a ghost in physical. It's a physical form.
yeah, it's a puppet. It's his first OC. And I gotta say, I really like the line art.
It is.
It's very sketchy.
Appropriate.
I like how it's over a nice creamy shade of orange, I guess. It's
Yellow?
very pleasant.
Looks like
Makes
yellow.
me think of a sunset day.
Okay. Next one.
Here's Waifus for Lifus
from
by
Ed.
Jada Prague or Jess.
Yeah. They are cool and it's
Who is it?
cool. That's Christina.
Oh yeah, it's
The one.
Kurisu.
It's Kurisu. And the other one I don't
Oh
recognize.
yeah, Kurisu.
Because they made a comment on the last episode that they would be mad if we didn't include Kurisu on every list. And I have to
Yeah.
say she's a good waifu. She's very good, but I don't know. I don't have that big connection to her.
I like
Also,
her game.
Totoro. Totoro is way better.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately so.
I'm sorry, Jada Prague.
but the drawing is really good, and I don't know the other character, but it's some demon girl, probably, or devil. It's very cute.
And then we have Comical Mew with his wife Marceline, the vampire queen.
Oh yes.
Yes.
That
Should have
rhymes.
been on my list.
That's Adventure Time, right?
Yeah, very nice picture.
Yeah.
Comical Mew is really good at the just simplified line art like this.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
And
really
cool poses.
really suits.
The
Marceline.
pose is great.
Yeah.
Because you don't even have to see your face to recognize
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
Did you guys? I haven't told you guys this, but I actually cosplayed when I was 16 or so. I cosplayed Marshall Lee, the male counterpart of Marceline, and I made like a real big life replica of her axe space. It's really cool.
Uglypage at Uglypage made a
Uglypage.
Bionicle.
Yeah.
A Bionicle comic.
The one true waifu, Pohatu.
Do you know Bionicle?
A little bit, yeah. I know Pohatu.
Okay. I've never played Bionicles, but
It's
it
not
looks
a game. It's a Lego.
it's a Lego. You play with Lego. I never played
There's
with
also
with
games.
Bionicles.
There are also.
I remember playing those games. It came on this mini, like very small disc.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It would be extremely
with
painful
cereal. They came with cereal.
for
I
you.
remember those.
Is it? Can we scroll back up for a second to Jadaprog's image? Yeah. I don't know, but I think the other girl is Star from Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've never seen that show, but it gets
I-
recommended to me all the
I
time.
watched a bit of it. She's super cute.
Maybe we should watch it.
Maybe.
Yeah. Other than that, Ugly Patch, I really like your machine designs always. You really have a great grasp of technology and industrial design, and that also comes through with
Ugly
bionicle
Patch
drawing.
is incredible.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
renders lighting and texture like nobody I've seen in these communities.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shout
please,
outs.
people, get as good as him. Get us level. So-
I think that's it. There's no more.
Well, we have
entries.
Noodlebomb.
Yeah, sure. We have.
Yeah,
We have
it's
Noodlebomb
just this
with
waifu
great
drawing.
Wait, did we talk about these already?
No, we didn't talk
We
about
didn't talk
this.
about our own drawings. Should we also talk about our own?
Yeah, of course.
Drawings? Wait.
Should we talk? Okay.
I mean,
So in one of the last episodes, we made basically made a contract to all draw our waifus till the next episode, and now it's 3 episodes later, and now we're
we've
gonna
drawn
talk
our
about it.
waifus.
Yeah, and there's Mamimi,
Mamimi's so pretty.
Noodlebomb's waifu. Yeah,
Yeah.
She is.
Noodlebomb's drawing, Graf's drawing is so lovely.
yeah.
In very different ways.
If you're ever at a SketchyCon, Asha, we have to watch Fooly Cooly.
Again?
That's just a SketchyCon tradition now.
Yeah, I can live with that.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
only- it's only
yeah,
3
your
hours.
Space Dandy. I forgot about it. It's cute.
Oh,
It
nice.
is so cool.
This star in the background.
It kind of looks
it
like
adds so much to the image, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
it kind of looks like it's a younger version of him, like in his teenage years.
Hell yeah.
It's so cool.
Also, Graf's picture. I didn't comment on it.
Oh,
Just absolutely beautiful. What can I say? I adore it. And the negative space, Mamimi, and Noodlebomb's picture is great as well.
Yeah.
okay. Alex says.
Click on tweet. Yeah, I drew Kumiko.
I'm
Um,
fucking disappointed now.
you're gonna already see it. Dear listener.
Yeah, scroll up.
SMA.
Oh, there
Oh
it
yeah,
is.
this one. Oh, it's so cute.
Also,
The thick outlines.
Yeah, before that, I want to comment on Noodlebomb's drawing, and I think it looks pretty different from its usual stuff. Like,
It also looks different from the style of the show a lot.
yeah, I mean, he barely does like front views, and
True.
His stuff always has like it feels very 3D in a way,
Yeah.
and this one's kind of different.
It's
And
it's kind of flat. It's
pretty
kind
cool.
but it looks cool even though it's kind of flat, and it looks like more like an ornamental thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't really look like a person. It looks
That's
more like a
Oh.
cool graphic. Yeah. Also, Seika, who can't be with us today because her Audacity can't
yeah,
work.
Unfortunately, Seika was going to join us and gush over Pokemon with me, but she couldn't make Audacity work. Instead, we're going to look at her cute drawing of Senjou Gahara.
And it's fantastic.
Always fantastic, as usual. I really love the shading in this one. It's pretty different from what she usually does.
It's not, but it's a little more glossy than normally, I think. But yeah, I mean,
Well,
just look at those thighs.
I mean the
Yeah.
sectioned off areas of the shirt colored in a darker color like that.
Yeah.
It's usually how she does it when she doesn't color something, but this time she colored over it as well,
Yeah,
and it looks cool. It's a little different.
it's sick, and she has a stapler like me in the waifu episode. Oh, second Monogatari waifu.
Yeah, I did that one.
It's her.
It's Hamikawa Tsubasa.
You don't have black, so you couldn't draw her black hair,
But-
which is unfortunate.
But it's fine because her hair is sort of brownish, and
Okay.
the brown went better with the color scheme I was going for
True.
herself. You know,
Yeah.
like the reddish color scheme works better with the brown. I think.
I really like how the water turned out.
Yeah, I'm putting water in my next watercolor. Lol. I'm way happier with the color choices and the background than the drawing of the girl herself. But you know what? I'll get better. It's fine.
I see a bunch of problems with her anatomy, but I really adore the picture nonetheless because I really like how you use watercolor actually because you use really wet watercolor. It's all kind of bleeding into each other and it's all cool patches and it's hard to control that way, but it makes a great effect. I really like it.
I really like how you did the hair. It's pretty good.
The contrast, my Yui, I use very little water with my watercolors, so you can even see like scratches of color sometimes, especially in the hair.
Yeah, you can see the grainy grains.
Yeah, it gets a little grainy from time to time. Also, it's a painting, not a drawing.
I really like the colors.
Yeah,
the backgrounds.
Yeah.
I love how like the image glows on the photograph, like in contrast with the table and stuff.
Yeah, it's a really dark table at my parents' home.
Yeah.
That looks.
The background's amazing too.
I like the texture on the jeans.
Yeah, that's probably the coolest part.
Almost looks like real jeans. Like you can touch them. Feels like jeans.
I chose some random outfit because K-On! Has fantastic costume designs.
It really does.
Yeah.
And you don't find a lot of online sources for the references, sadly. So I looked in an art book that I got with a DVD, like a little template thing.
I bought some really cool postcards at a comic shop yesterday.
Yeah.
Of Miyu, not Miyu.
Oh god, those
Mio and Yui in really cool outfits.
Those bootleg postcards of K-On! Characters were really funny because most of them were like redrawn or fan art versions, and this is a collection of like the main girls, and it's always a character in the foreground really badly redrawn, and in the background it's the name of the character, but it's the wrong name. it's like Yui and Tsumuki Kotobuki in the background.
Yeah,
and
it's pretty funny.
It's also always exchanged. Okay, have we something else?
That was all the Sketch With Us entries.
Okay. What's next?
I have one thing for the weekly progress section that I want to talk about.
Please go.
As I said in the introduction, I started a webcomic.
Woo!
Thanks for the excitement. Yeah, it's
good.
supposed to
it's
be.
It's really good.
First off, it's called Mettamoi Prologue. And it's supposed to be a prologue for a bigger webcomic project that will start once I'm done with school. And yeah, that's I don't have a name for the main character. He's just called main character guy.
It's okay, it's like Masaki Yuasa.
Just call him Boy. Like in Night is Short.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, okay.
The characters in Night is Short are just called like Raven-haired Maiden and Senpai.
Yeah, it's just about it's kind of inspired by me traveling around.
I can see that.
Yeah, and he's just traveling for now.
Okay, good. On the first. I love that you put a frame on the first one, and on the second one that shows a different part of his body. There's no frame, but it's still kind of the frame kind of transfers over the two pictures. You kind of still see the frame, even though it's gone.
Okay.
And
I didn't even think about this. I
you
just
know what
saw
I mean.
something, but cool.
The part that I really like is the attention trained to, like he's just so relaxed and so drifting away that he's just like not even paying attention to where the train is going.
Yeah.
And the first image of the comic is really beautiful to me,
Thanks.
at least.
Yeah, it all looks really amazing.
And then this
and
panel.
the last panel, of
and
course.
then the last panel.
That's a classic graph for you.
That is a classic, right?
It's actually the second to last panel, but
Oh, okay.
5 minutes late.
yeah.
Great. Does anyone else
Wait,
have
how long
wiki
did you
programs?
spend on this? Like on one page?
This one page must have taken you a
I
while.
basically did all the inking on the evening before I left for SketchyCon.
Did you do that with ink or is it digital?
No, it's I used fine liners for the
Whoa.
inking and then added shading with with my pencil, just with my technical pencil.
Oh, it looks so good.
Thanks.
I would have never had the courage to start my comic in traditional.
It was really scary because I hadn't worked in traditional for a very, very
Yeah,
long time.
you just like 2 weeks ago, you were like, yeah, I'm gonna do fineliner again. Makes webcomic.
Yeah, it's probably not a good idea to start this
it-
webcomic now, but whatever.
It doesn't matter. Just start your thing. Also, dear listener, don't think too much about the stuff you want to do. Just try something, because the first thing will probably not be the best thing you will ever make. But if you will never make it, it's not gonna get good.
Very good advice.
Yeah, whatever you do, just don't procrastinate.
Yeah, I'm gonna release this.
No offense.
I'm gonna release this in batches, not individual pages. I'm just
Makes sense.
whenever I have time, I'm gonna draw a new scene. Because when I draw comics, I really think more of about scenes than just like individual panels and stuff. Yeah. Anybody else have something?
I made some things.
The only thing I made was a drawing we've already seen, so yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna post some drawings now. I made this thing, which is just some watercolor sketchy thing. But I really liked how it turned out. I haven't tried something like this before, like a weird robot person separating into parts. Yeah, and it was really fastly made, and that's good.
You know, this is probably my favorite drawing that you ever made.
That's kind of sad.
What?
Because I
I really like all the individual like little thingies that form that body, and they have these cool colors. It's really nice.
I also really like the color scheme. I didn't do too much this week because I was kind of preparing for SketchyCon, which is happening, by the way, guys.
I mean, here we are.
we are all in the same location for a few days. We're gonna do cool stuff. Look forward to it. Also, it's not my post, but NexusMania put out a preview for his animation that's coming out soon, and he commissioned me for the backgrounds, and that's the first one. And I think it looks pretty cool with his character in the foreground, which will be voiced by Nate Bestman, if you know him.
Whoa!
Kind of looks like Nate.
It does. Yeah, and I did the store background. It's a comic book store. The short will take place in a comic store. And also you can patron him to watch like some minutes of the animation, I think. So go do that. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Asha, what did you do?
Oh my. Other than getting into watercolors again.
Post it.
Oh yeah, those looked great.
How do I have to post it? Wait.
Okay.
I'm probably faster.
So I did a bunch of that, and I noticed my style kind of changes when I use watercolors. Also, I'm bad at taking pictures. Mostly because I didn't bother to get lights. Yeah.
I really enjoy your traditional drawings. I said it every time you post one.
The ploofy lady with the dress is one of my favorite things you've ever drawn. I adore it.
I love all of them. It's so good.
The main difference I see to your digital ones is that your lines are way thinner, because they have to be, probably.
Yeah.
I'm using a
Your
ball pen.
tools. Yeah, and it gets a little more sketchy, but also like a little more fragile, and I think it's really beautiful. Not that your digital stuff is not, but I enjoy the difference.
It gets sketchy.
Yeah.
What I like is that when doing digital, you usually have somewhat flat coloring, and this makes it so that even when you flat color, it still has texture.
Yeah.
Because it's watercolor, and it just really brings a lot to the table to your usual coloring style. I like it.
It's a little more toned down in the poppiness. It's like, was it intentional, or is it just the colors you have? Like the colors aren't that bright.
Yeah, that's just how I colored it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just like those colors. I'm like, I don't want to mess with it. I don't want to ruin it.
Yeah,
That's the fear of
looks good.
traditional is that I'm
That's
going to
the
destroy
fear.
it.
Yeah, you have to abandon the drawing in time before it gets bad.
I think it looks a lot more like children's books illustrations.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if it's sketched like this, I think this would fit like great in a children's book or something.
Yeah,
One of
it's
the-
got that aesthetic.
One of the children's books I talked about earlier had a similar illustration style, which was the one of the farting.
We need a
God, please don't make that book, Asha.
we need a
It already exists.
we need a Asha X Graf collab. Like
Yeah.
Asha can do the cool characters and Graf the backgrounds. I think
yes.
it would fit really well.
Yeah.
I would like that. I
Let's do that
also I spent a month ago. I was buying a bunch of stuff online, and I just ended up with a bunch of toys.
Just ended up with a bunch of
Oh,
toys. Not your
gosh.
fault. Not just ended up with them.
And I just this 1 week, a bunch of stuff that I ordered just decided to all come at once, and it's just like every single day I come home and there's something new.
It sounds
Pretty
like eternal birthday.
Sounds like heaven.
Yeah.
But also, that's a lot of shit on your desk.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I really worry about cluttering my desktop because I have too many toys.
My desk needs to be cluttered so I can be
Oh.
creative and get inspired by stuff that's in front of me.
Oh, this thing, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Talk about it.
Bum, bum,
So
bum.
recently, the art director for the Pom 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 music video, Sebastian Matsuda, came to Toronto for his giant art project that's like a time capsule. And
Oh.
it's like a time capsule that's supposed to be buried for like in 2020, and then opened again, I guess.
That's fantastic.
And he was
Sorry,
What's
sorry.
gonna get put into it?
people
herself.
no
scary.
people put in their like something cute or a letter to themselves. So I made like a metallic purse thing. I like sewed it the other day and then put a letter to myself into it.
Oh.
That's cool.
But it was also cool because a YouTuber I've been watching recently is the one who recommended the event, and I got to see her. I didn't talk to
Yeah.
her though. I just like
Aw, Asha.
no, I didn't want to bother her. She was
gotta
like
show
filming stuff, so
podcast.
I'm like, just leave her.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay.
What else did I wrote down notes and then I forgot. Dang it. Well, oh yeah, I talked to a person. I just went like, yo, can I sit next to you? And she said yes. And then we talked and we made bear puns because the time capsule, they had like a
Yeah.
temporary time capsule like thing because they couldn't bring the big one with them. So it's just like an inflatable bear, but the bear kept deflating. So we were just
Oh, I remember the bear.
so we kept making jokes about how the bear, like bear puns, just it couldn't bear the pressure.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
We just had the bear
Also,
with
you're
the
so
situation.
Very nice.
Very nice.
So-
And I got to
So
see
nice
like
is
people
awesome.
dressed in Lolita fashion.
Oh. I like that.
Yeah, and I thought a lot about he talked a bit about the nature of cuteness, and it was interesting. I wish I got to see like his lecture. He had a lecture on Friday, but I couldn't go.
Oh,
That sounds
Do
really
you
cool.
think any of the stuff is up on YouTube or something?
Probably
Yeah,
it's gonna be-
I want to watch The Essence of Cuteness.
Yeah, can that be a topic? Can we
pretty
talk
cute.
about cuteness?
Yeah.
Yes!
Yes.
I'm down.
yep.
Only cute SPP members are allowed.
No.
so-
Well, sign
You know,
me
like
up.
the one thing I liked about it, he's like, yeah, there's like 100. There's like for each person, there's like many different types of cuteness, and
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's really hard to define though. But it's an interesting topic.
Yeah.
also
We've got to do it as soon as possible.
a kind of important thing
As soon
I
as
did, but it was like a week, over a week ago. But Torri's out. did.
Oh yeah!
What? Wait, we didn't talk about it already. Wait,
We did.
I need to
No,
get the
we
link.
didn't. We never talked about
We
it.
talked about the roughs, and I put the link for
Oh, yeah, the
for the
roughs.
full thing in the show notes.
Yeah, but nobody has seen it probably. So, wait, where is it? God damn it. Yeah.
Let's read Torri.
I just wanted to say it's fantastic.
Oh, and I have episode 2 on my computer right now. I just need to upload it today, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's like
I'm
way
so
Well,
longer.
looking
listeners,
forward
by
to
the
it.
time this is out, you'll probably have episode 2 and maybe 3 of Torri, so go read it and
Yeah.
go tell Asha it's good.
Link
To
in the
this.
show notes as usual.
Yeah. It's really fantastic, and I think I drew Torri with her glasses.
Oh,
and-
yes,
Yeah, you
yes.
did.
Right. The best thing to come out of Torri is NeverPaint's art.
No.
Yes, it is.
Yours is way better. I'm sorry.
Shut up.
They're both
Yours is the
good.
best.
It's very different. Okay, we're gonna fight it out at next Sketchy
You know-
People. It's gonna be a boxing match with Noodlebomb.
Oh, no.
Good job.
I mean, I'll wear a suit and commentate. I won't fight, but I'll wear a suit and commentate.
I have to warn you, I bite.
Oh, I
no.
do. I sleep with this guy. I don't want to know that.
Cool.
Not in that way. Listeners. Not in that way. Please don't.
Now it's on
misconstrue
tape
my
forever,
sentences.
Lemon.
Lemon
did you do
Paint.
is-
Everyone's favorite ship.
Everyone's favorite ship, Lemon Paint, Invisible Ink. Remember, haha, for episode 1 hashtag. What?
I can't remember that because I'm not watching our own podcast, I think.
Damn.
Damn.
I'm very sorry. I just feel I like experiencing it here way more than actually listening to it. What? Did you want to say something, Asha?
Okay, so
Oh.
Well, we were gonna look at Torri.
I learned.
I posted a link. Yeah.
I haven't clicked on it.
Okay. we're gonna analyze it to shreds.
No.
The first chapter is called Train Ride, but we don't see a train.
Yes, we do.
Where's the train?
On the train.
Yeah.
First off, I love that it's on a train.
Wait, they are on the
They're
train.
on the
How do you
train.
She's
not
sitting
do-
on the train.
It's a
That she
inside
looks out of a train, mate.
Oh, I think that's like a park bank or something.
No.
Well,
That's why I
okay.
drew it as a park bank.
Here's the first criticism that we could make. It also looks like it could be at a train station.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Because you don't see the windows. Like it's not exactly clear that it's a train in the first panel.
But also the characters are all cool and look. I like the egghead guy in the foreground.
Yeah.
Every person has so much character. and
Also,
it's so
also the woman who reads the book is cool. Yeah,
I like Rose
a lot.
with this giant thing of bags and clothes compared to Tori's tiny little bag.
Well, they are moving though, so
Yeah.
she's gotta have lots. Also,
Yeah.
she's a fashion designer.
Well, that's why I pointed it out. I like it.
Um,
And I really like that when I see the panel of Torri going, whoa, because it's all, her face is so nonchalant and like there's no exclamation point or anything. I just imagine like the most deadpan, like the most, whoa. It's really cute.
I
Whoa.
actually go, wow,
Whoa.
It's a bird.
it's like me. Is that her father?
Oh god.
No.
Whoa. Never
It's her
paint.
fellow. It's her
just a cousin.
fellow feathered people, birds.
Yeah. But how?
Fellow feathered people,
I'm
bird.
really looking forward to the deep lore of how Torri became a bird.
She was born that
Even
way.
though her mom isn't one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just accidentally. It's a mutation. She's an X-Man.
I like it doesn't need to be explained.
Yeah, of course.
It's just a funny
joking.
outfit.
I'm just
in the
joking.
end.
Sorry. I definitely learn doing a comic is the best way to learn how to do a comic because I realize so many shortcomings I have, like proportions and stuff. Like drawing episode 2, I kept like drawing the suitcase the wrong size.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
really
interesting.
bad.
Yeah.
Okay, when you read my NeverFrost thing and you really pay close attention to Love's sword, It doesn't make any sense at all.
Oh, I haven't
It
paid
just-
attention to it. I kind of want to go do that now.
On some panels it just disappears.
Oh, it's funny.
But that's the thing though, those little things are not that important actually. What's more important is the flow of the panels.
Yeah.
And that is really good.
Yeah. I really like that.
Mom, look.
That's so cute! and Rose just,
Oh.
She's so funny.
Oh.
Thanks. It's great.
we're gonna have to animate a motion comic now, right?
Who draws that?
They're cute on you.
Oh god. The sunglasses on Torri and her little mouth is perfect.
Yeah,
Pretty great.
Yeah.
I'm
Very
glad
good
you
panel.
guys like it. Because I'm just
think
embarrassed.
a lot
I like have to power through my own embarrassment all the time.
Yeah, I definitely feel that way. I always feel very vulnerable sharing drawings. And if it's like a comic with OCs and everything, it's...
Also, you definitely... I completely understand if you are kind of ashamed, but you need to promote it more, please. Because
Okay.
when I posted my fan art to different Discord servers, like some people were like, "Oh, I haven't noticed that."
Everybody loves the character design, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Of Torri.
Character designs.
What's the last panel?
it's a bird.
It's
Why is it
it's
roaring?
her plushie. Like she has like a dinosaur plushie with like bird wings.
Oh, oh
Okay.
my
And
god!
she's holding
see
it
now.
like at the window and going rah. Like the dinosaur is taking over the city.
Oh no, I get it.
Oh, I thought they were arriving in a port town that just happened to be assailed by this giant monster.
It's trained by
Which I guess is the
Seaside.
effect. Trained by Seaside is like the best concept in the
Yeah,
world.
that's why I do it.
I love the bay. But yeah.
I
They
suck
too,
at
dude.
landscapes. I need to get good like Garf. I keep looking at Garf's like pictures he takes all the time and being like, oh, this is what I want
Reference.
Tori's town to look like.
Should I just like start drawing the backgrounds for Torri?
Yes,
Yeah.
please. No, you don't have to.
No. It's
Just-
your account.
yeah.
You can collab
Try-
with something else.
Yeah, try to.
I want one
try
shot
to
by Garf.
improve, because Asha, I really like some of your background drawings you already
Well,
did.
probably.
I like they're just as dynamic as your characters, and you can see what it is, and
You sure can.
no, I mean it's like
I'm joking. don't
what I
worry.
meant is that it's not a even though you use sketchy lines, like everything is very clearly identifiable. It's very
That's the strength of Asha art. They're very sketchy, non-connective lines that end up making something completely delineated and completely identifiable. It's especially visible in the watercolors that you made because they're like super all over the place lines, yet the general shape of especially stuff like the dress and the frills, you can still tell they're all there, and it's really neat.
Okay, Asha's great.
Tired.
Okay, I can go die embarrassment now. Bye.
No,
Okay, I'll
don't.
stay.
Well,
This should
that
power
wouldn't be
you.
ideal.
Good thing I dodged that bullet by
Not drawing.
by interrupting you guys when you were talking about the waifu once and skipped over mine.
What? Oh, no. Wait, no, we talked about your waifu.
I think
we-
We
just-
briefly
I-
did, but not much.
Oh no,
it's fine.
Oh, let's talk
I
about
really love
his
the thick
Mamimi drawing.
outlines
It's
you made.
adorable. I love
They
it.
were great.
The environment,
Yeah.
the smoking.
wait, my Mamimi drawing?
Yeah.
No,
I'm talking about that.
Kumiko.
Sure.
Didn't we
yes.
talk about that?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk a second more. No, it's fantastic. I really like how you have this thing in your drawings that you never draw the character like in the foreground, or like almost never.
I should start doing that though.
Yes, but it's kind of what makes your art special in a way.
Well, it makes your environments more lived in,
Yeah,
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's pretty
Because
cool.
with my backgrounds, it's mostly like a character that's in front. Also, this Kumiko, it's good. And why is her nose broken?
What do you mean?
She X-sliced so hard that she broke her own nose.
It's accessory. It's an
Okay, it's
an accessory.
Oh, is she into Manhattan fashion? Is that it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
She's very poofy.
She's so
I
cute.
like Poofy.
Perfect.
I like the plants in the background.
I
What are those plants?
Graf.
No, it just adds to the image. It's
Very-
It
it's
is.
not
It is. It's a nice little cute
very in
ornament.
character for you. I think that's one of my favorite drawings of yours, Alex.
I've been forcing myself to do any kind of background, like.
It's
just-
pretty good.
Yeah.
What I have to say, what I don't really like is the red frame
Yeah.
around it, because
Same.
it's kind of crude compared to the really
It feels
cute
a little
and fun-
randomly put together, yeah.
Well, that's because it was. I think I messed up a line somewhere in the background.
You
and
just
then
made it a
made
frame.
Oh.
giant big frame.
I'll make a drawing next week, I promise.
Yeah, we're gonna make you
Well,
physically.
I'm halfway through a really nice sketch of a perspective shot of a river town. And I'm gonna use watercolor on the water, and there's gonna be reflections and transparency effects, and glowy glows with white gel, and it's gonna be great.
Also, I posted a link to the children's book I talked about earlier. These-
There's some movie.
There's a movie of that. It's bad. It's not bad. Look at the illustrations. The illustrations are really fun and crude and weird. Or look at this one. In the second novel, the scientist invents a time machine that's just a bathing tub, and they travel through time. And it's cool. It's
Farting in the tub.
How did this get published?
it's just weird Scandinavian guys, man. Yeah, it's pretty fantastic.
Dr. Proctor.
Dr. Proctor's fart powder.
Oh God.
Okay.
This is a good way to end the episode, I would say.
No, it's not.
Yeah. I'm just gonna announce what I'll do until next week. I'll try to have chapter 2 of mettamoi prologue ready. I already sketched it out and I hope I will be able to ink it.
Yeah.
You will.
Do it.
I believe in you.
We'll force you to. We can physically force him.
We
That's what I said
actually
earlier.
can. We have the power. We have the means of production. We've seized them from our corporate capitalist overlords.
What? Stop it!
Okay, abort.
So I'm gonna do some SketchyCon probably. We wanna do some content here, and we're not gonna say what we're going to do, because if something's not
It's a
gonna work out.
surprise.
Yeah, because it's a surprise.
You
Yeah.
might already know some of the stuff.
Come on, don't just shoot ourselves in the foot before we even make anything.
Yeah,
you know?
some of it will,
There will
will
be-
out.
There
by
will
the
be
time
art.
it
There
has to
will
come
be
out.
live action content.
I mean, this is live action content right now.
No,
just
there's no
for-
picture.
But there sure is action.
It's basically
A high five.
There's a bunch of explosions going on in the background right now.
too far away. I'm sorry.
They're too far away to hear, but we promise they're there.
Oh, God. Okay.
I'm tired, guys. We
Asha-
should wrap this up.
Asha,
Oh,
do you
right,
want to do
Asha.
something
God, I
till
forgot,
next time?
Sorry.
Asha?
Yeah?
Do you want to do something until next time?
I don't want to say anything. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do.
I see your
Well-
icon light up, but I don't hear any voice coming from
I'm a
you.
ghost.
Oh, my phone died.
Oh,
phone died.
no,
Okay.
Alex phone died, so Lemon
Oh, no.
and Alex can't hear you anymore. I'm sorry.
It was a bit complicated to set all of this up, so nothing would echo, and we could hear everything.
It doesn't matter. The point is,
The point.
translate NeverPaint.
She just said that she doesn't want to say what she want to do, what she just want to do, because it might not happen. But also that's the point of saying it, so that it has to happen.
Okay, then
Right?
probably gonna do more work on the dating sim and maybe Torri.
Yeah,
Some more Torri.
maybe Torri. Yeah,
Yeah.
do that. I also have to do on that. We're
I
going to
didn't
dating
hear
sim.
anything you just said, Asha, but good luck on whatever projects you have going on.
Hey.
Okay, good. Time to wrap this up.
Time to wrap this up. See you later.
Follow
Yeah.
the things.
Oh yeah.
Follow all of our social media, including mine, More so than everybody else, please.
Yeah, read my comic.
Don't forget to post your weekly progress with the hashtag sketchwithus.
Yeah, and follow our Twitter at Sketchcast.
And smash that like button, for God's sake. We gotta get up there. We gotta rise up in the ranks. We gotta get that following we so deeply crave and deserve.
Numbers.
Alright, see you later, everybody. Mwah.
Goodbye.
I love you all.
Bye bye.
Mwah.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Let's do a clap then, right?
Yeah,
I-
let's clap.
3, 2, 1, clap.
Guess we only need one clap on this side, so we each get to sync.
We are music player.
Just one of us. And
It's
just one
gonna
of
be a
us.
lot easier to sync if you only have one clap.
But we all can see when we're gonna clap. So we will
Just clap all at the same
We,
time.
we can't. No, that's not.
Guys, we have to sync into real life. We have to make sure that we are all speaking at the same pace.
We have to be perfectly in sync. We have to become
You're
a
a boy
boy
band.
band. Asha's on the money here. We have to become a boy band. I'll be the bard.
Man, I'm certain we have.
You can be the assassin.
That's gonna go into the outtakes.
That's
What kind of boy band is that?
The kind that becomes a bunch of murder hobos and.
And starts a podcast.
Can I be a dragon? Can I be Spike?
No.
Oh.
Alright, are we gonna sync again?
Should we?
Only one is gonna clap on this
But
side.
who?
But hold on, we need to play rock paper scissors to decide who gets the clap.
No, who won before NeverPaint? You won.
I won. Okay, I'm gonna clap. Okay,